Welcome to Cranky Live Sports Talk, where passion meets action.
Hey sports fans, I am Cranky, and this is the Cranky Live Sports Talk, the podcast where we dive deep into the hottest topics, the biggest games, and the most controversial moments in sports.
Whether it's football, basketball, track and field, cricket, or soccer, we've got you covered with expert analysis, insider interviews, and unfiltered opinions.
Join me as I chat with the biggest names in sports, get exclusive insights and stories you won't hear anywhere else.
Cranky Live Sports Talk is where you can hear the real talk, the hard-hitting questions, and the hottest takes.
So, if you're a true sports fanatic, you don't want to miss out? Subscribe now to the Cranky Live Sports Talk on YouTube and hit that bell icon to never miss an episode.
Cranky Live Sports Talk, where sports come alive. Subscribe today.
Okay, let me know if you can hear me, people. Let me know if you can hear me out there in YouTube land. My setup here is not ideal. Somehow I think I had everything lined up and it wasn't. So let me know if you can hear me before I start this show. Let me know if you can hear me, people. Can you hear me? Just hit yes. Let me say it. Hit yes if you can hear me, people. Can you hear me? Nothing? It's not good. Can you hear me? Come, people, say yes. Can you hear you? But can you hear me? All right. Tell me if you know the people, because I'm in a different location. As you can see from my background. And many people can't hear me. I have enough to talk about. I start off smiling. I brought my whole equipment. Look, people, I know that now work. I don't know what my whole equipment. I brought my mic and thing. I have none of them now work. So I have to go basic. I have to pack up pack up all my luggage and thing with all these contraptions, and then none of them now work. Very frustrating, but can't stop the show. So good evening. I have a lot to talk about. Reggae Boyz football. We'll do a post-game analysis of, if you want to call it that game, you can call it that game yesterday. We'll do a post-game analysis. We'll talk about where do we go from here. You know, they have the game coming up on Tuesday. Should be an interesting game. Make sure to go watch and cheer on the team. And then part of the conversation is going to be, frankly, about what I consider to be the meltdown by Reggae Boyz fans, because I'm telling you, I go on a number of streams just watching. Most of the time not commenting, but I did go on press that stream this morning. The feedback is interesting, actually. I see people doing so far score, and who played well and who didn't play well. And I'm scratching my head saying, bless up, Goontown. I'm not sure what we're talking about. So let me hear the people first from the start. Today will not be a pretty show, as you can imagine. It's not going to be the best show. I'm starting off in a very good, talking a low voice, not getting excited, very calm. So I see Joseph Brown here. I see Property says England struggled. So people start making excuses now. England beat Andorra 1-0, and people start making excuses. England struggle, so that we can struggle. And you got to be educated about football. Lee Young, bless. S Technic, best. Thanks for being here. I don't want to compare yourself to England now. We don't know we didn't England. England, I struggle to make World Cup. And we know them game. Bless up, Goontown, God. We're going to have the conversation, people, because they're making me laugh about these things. I love when we grasp at straws. When things don't go as well, we got to find some excuse and some example to substantiate and justify our situation and make us feel better about ourselves. So yes, I watched the England and Andorra game. It was a really poor game. England didn't use their best team. People like Curtis Jones, who can't get into Liverpool first team, were starters. Saka, no Rice, no bunch of people. They didn't have Harry Kane there, right? But we're going to talk about our team. Because we know business but nobody else. Let me say that from now. I want to excuse them. If you come make excuse this evening, at the wrong program, you depend. You hear me I say? if you come here to make excuses about our anemic performance, you're in the wrong program. I suggest you go to another program, okay? Because I can give you a theme that I'm seeing. 2 St. Vincent game. So, you know, we had US destroyed us. We had 2 St. Vincent game. Before that, when August was here, we had Dominican Republic, we had Dominica, we had the Copa America winner game. If you look at the entirety of body of work of the last 2 years, you would be surprised where the position we're in as it relates to the Gold Cup and the World Cup qualifiers because we're in the next round, right? And some people are saying, well, we won 1-0, so what are you complaining about? That's interesting too. That is the perspective people are taking. But I view things a little bit differently. So what do I start out with? The coach decided to play a different team. And look, we can all play Monday morning quarterback, which means when something is done and you look at it and it doesn't go right, you can always criticize and say you would have done better, you did something different, right? That's the nature of life and sports in general, life in general, right? And so when I look at the game was interesting because I started watching the game when I was at the airport. Because you know, you're at the airport, you're scrambling and they're calling you. And the plane was, by the way, my plane was 2 hours late. But I was able to watch the game. They had power outage, so it wasn't the best watch actually. And then second half, I watched most of it, but then I got so frustrated, I turn off my iPad and try to go sleep. I know something I like fly. Right? Turn off my iPad. I just say, I can't watch no more of this. I can't watch no more of this. My head hurt me. And yeah, I was watching the Porter. I'm not watching no Porter, no girl. I mean, I pay me now. So if you're Spain, I pay me now. If you're Portugal and Porter and girl, I mean, anything there. I woke up from Reggae Boyz football. Portugal and Spain, I play Nations League. Nobody not care. Except the 2 teams who I play. People care about World Cup and we care about Copa. So the question is, why did we look so... I'm going to go with my topics, disorganized and flat as it relates to the game. We played a team. And by the way, people, let me start off by saying, because I did say that when CC was on Presser's program this morning, we had a very balanced team. Right, CC? We had a very balanced team. The entire forward line was locally developed. What was it? Brown, Cephas, and Dixon. So a very balanced up front. We had Russell and Gray in the midfield. And Gray's now the new 10. Because Cephas pushed him out. We had Damian Lowe, or center half, playing that CDM role, the controller, the manager, protector of the defense, and the initiation of the play. And then we had 3 diaspora in the defense along with King and the goalkeepers. So we had 6-5 in terms of, so the balance is perfect. I mean, if you are leader, you know, leader will come along this program. If you are Maverick, if you are the sportsman, the TVJ, the reporters, we should be ecstatic about the balance we had in the team. I mean, it's amazing. It's brilliant. It's beautiful to see such balance in terms of the distribution, the allocation, what we have in the field about who was the local developed versus who was born overseas. And I'm not truly Jamaican. I'm going to try to get to World Cups and then just come borrow and come on the team. They're not really true Jamaican. I'm a fear. And then parents never born in Jamaica, and then grandparents never born in Jamaica. And must become Jamaican by osmosis. You know? And like Jewish people, who, if you're a Jew, 100 years ago, 200 years ago, you're still Jewish, you're a Jewish citizen of Israel. It'd be different, right? So it's interesting. So the balance I'm great with the balance, a wonderful balance. And we see the balance when we see more than the balance when Jamaica play Trinidad home and away. No, not home and away. 2 games in Jamaica, all JPL players. There is no balance, but nobody's complaining. Nobody's crying that we should have all these. I mean, maybe if 1 or 2 diaspora people may say, why would we bring a couple of the young kids to play? But I don't hear Maverick crying. I don't hear TVJ crying. I don't hear Leader crying. I don't hear Skillful crying. I don't hear Whitmore crying. I don't hear anybody crying that, why are we bringing some little young players who play under 23, the clubs may release them to play in these games and get some exposure? Hey, ain't nobody crying. As soon as you get to the senior team and play some big competition, then you hear, we need balance. Gotta have balance. So we had balance yesterday. Excellent balance in terms of 6-5. Can't complain. We played BVI, a team that gave up 10 goals in their previous games and didn't score 1 goal. Got beaten 3-0 last time out by cricketing nation that don't even have a football field called Dominica, who we struggle with, by the way. But we had 2 local players up front, Dixon and Nicholson. I didn't hear any complaints about that. Now, if you're a Reggae Boyz fan and you have aspirations for World Cup and aspirations for Gold Cup, and this coach who keeps on talking about, I got to play the JPL players. They're not educated as they should be. They don't have the technical skills, but they can run fast. So I have to play them. It's a must because we need a camaraderie and their togetherness and all the other stuff. And if I have a low block team, that's why I need Robert Morrison for a low block team. But when I needed Robert Morrison for a low block team, I played Demain low. I'm losing my train of thought because I'm confused about these contradictions that are a continuum by this coach. I think I said 2 years ago, or maybe a year ago, I was talking to the technical director or the head of technical committee for the JFF. And I said to the gentleman, you guys know who he is, that he should consider leveraging Spain, engaging Spain, building relationship with Spain, because they're, to me, the #1 footballing nation nowadays. They produce the best coaches. They produce the most coaches with A license. They're dominating football. Dominating football. I don't care what this game go today, dominating football. They win the last 2 Nations League. They win the Euro. They didn't do well in the World Cup as they probably should have because they never have a center forward of note ever. When last Spain have a center forward, apart from Raul, who's played for Real Madrid when Coles come wrong. Still a dominant football. Right? And the man said to me, they didn't do that well. Now, but go look at their women's team. Go look at the Olympics team. Go look at, and the man, from the man said that to me, and he might try to rationalize it. And I proved him wrong, by the way. I walked away saying, we are in trouble as a footballing nation because we don't have the right leadership with the right vision, the right strategy. You're going to struggle. I'm digressing here about the BVI game, but I'm making a point. Yeah, Portugal have won, but to me, I'm not calling penalty kicks or nothing. I'm not calling penalty kicks or nothing. Penalty kicks don't mean nothing to me in football. It's the 90 minutes where you play, the 190 minutes. When you win by penalty kicks, that mean nothing to me in football. I'm not counting. Just like when Nigeria beat Jamaica, no penalty kicks. Spain dominate football. And then I'm a center forward, by the way. Of note, anyway, I should say. So, point I'm trying to make is this. So, we're going to go back to the BVI. Bless up Langsley, TD, CC, Siobhan Peart. Thanks for being here. All is well, Siobhan. Thanks for being here. Winston, Ricardo, Maine. And so let's go back to the game. We played BVI, and he played a team. And here's my interest on that team, actually. This is what I found interesting. So a bunch of people keep complaining about we bringing in too many players, we can't settle. When you are a coach and you realize that the players you have don't have the requisite skill set and ability and what you need to get where you need to get to, you have to make changes. I remember having a coach one time who says changes have to be made. You have to make changes. I thought the coach would have done this yesterday. One of 2 things. He would have played his best team from the first half. He would try to score as many goals as possible. And then he filter in those he wants to give game time to. Those he's trying to sell. Those he's trying to do different things with, right? I thought he would have done that. That didn't happen. He played a makeshift team. He played a team like, if you never follow Jamaica football, you would never understand why the team is on the field. And then here's what happened. the coach, in his great wisdom, throughout his tenure with the Reggae Boyz, keeps saying things which you just say, you feel like you're doomed, actually. You feel like you have no way out. Man is a walking contradiction. So he played the team he played. There was no cohesion. Ball wasn't moving. Our midfield is a problem. Still a problem. Right? Still a problem. We haven't solved it. Unless we get a Ramsey and a Dwight McNeil and others, we're going to struggle in the midfield. But at least if we have very good defenders who can progress the ball up the field and good forwards, and we have Gray playing the 10 nowadays, even though he's not playing up defense, it may help. Right? But let's go back to the game. And so when you watch the game, it was so disjointed against a BVI team. People, British Virgin Football Island, BVFI. I'm a virgin when it comes to football. And we barely beat them 1-0. And people thought, well, we missed this chance, we missed that chance. I am more than puzzled about the coach, his decision. And Bishop Leon Griffiths, thanks for being here. Richard Samuel said, Jeff, if and the coach don't care anymore. I don't think it's that they don't care anymore, you know. But as a friend of mine always say, you know what you know. All right? You know what you know. Robert saying it was embarrassing. Yeah, I mean, embarrassing is not the word, people. You know, a friend of mine, I'm going to call him name, before the game, he said to me, I said, oh, we're playing BVI. Probably get about 9 or 10. And he said, really? That's how it works? You guys are so sure? Because he's not convinced. I mean, he's not convinced about our team. He likes this country, likes the team. He's not convinced about the leadership, just like me. He's not convinced about how we make decisions. People, if you come in the chat and we have 180 something, 70, 90 people, and it's 60 likes, that can't be right, people. Come, people. Unless you don't like the program, and you don't like what I'm saying, I can understand that. You know what I do? Put on my hat. Maybe you can understand. No, I'm me. Put on my hat. Put on my hat. Maybe this will be better. All right, give me some likes for the hat then. Give me some likes for that. I don't like the wallet. Some likes for that. People, we don't want me to do. I'm going to start it now. I mean, the introductory phase. And so we play the game, and the team is disjointed. It's not working. And here's what I realized about this coach and his tactics. Let's transition to that. Team disjointed, playing well. His in-game management is atrocious. In-game management doesn't mean I have to make changes. In-game management could be how I reassess and reallocate players, how I change my strategy about how I want to play. Do I go long? Do I go short? Do I start press? Do I go mid-block? How I do my transition? Whatever you football people want to talk about. But you know, YouTubers don't know anything about football, except you geniuses who coach and manage football. We're not that smart. He doesn't make any changes in game. He just go along with the flow. I keep referring back to the US game when Robinson running wild. And I'm sitting there thinking, even a baby could see that. Why is the man making a change? Why is he put somebody on Robinson? That game sticks in my mind and probably will never leave my mind about the aptitude of this coach. Seriously. But we don't get to it. What's his tactic? So you would think also, let me just look at this and lay this out. If I'm bringing in a Burrell, for example, if I'm bringing a Tyrese Campbell, we keep hearing how difficult CONCACAF is, right? And I'm playing what Jamaica call a SAPS team. I'm playing a team not have football in pedigree, not a very good team. I've given up 10 goals in their last 3 or 4 games, can't score a goal. These are good players. I'm going to try them there in that environment to give them exposure, to get them acclimated to the environment, to playing on bad pitches, and sometimes against bad players. Nope. We're going to play the regulars. Yeah. The coach, A.M. Henry says, the coach keeps claiming how many JP players he's bringing into the team. That's not his job. He was hired to do, he's busy. The coach is being a politician. People. And if you can't see that, you have a problem. And let me just warn you people. Let me just warn some of you this evening, like the football guru. This is not the day to come here making excuses and trying to be cute with your language and stuff. I'll be brutal today. I'm going to warn you. I'm going to be brutal. The proof is in the pudding. Against St. Vincent, we played 2 games. I'm not going to really bet the coach of St. Vincent. The performance, we barely beat St. Vincent. We barely draw the first game, and we scored 2 late goals in the second game. St. Vincent, the Trinidad place in Kitts the other day, and I give them about 5 to their number is run over them like them can't play football. That they had this Brex team. Now, the question that arises is, what transpired yesterday? Is that going to be the case on Tuesday? I don't know, but I have 0 confidence in this coach. This coach are talking giant up. This coach says, well, when I bring Ravel in and I play the game against BVI and, that team, they play low block, so I need somebody with some skill. Up here, BC and F, me want to put out there, people, me them nonsense there, I'm going to like cuss. I think cussing is the right thing to do, especially in this environment. Up here, cuss more because they man talk them nonsense there. The man say him bringing Ravel to do a job, him up bringing him to do a job, and him have low block, and him play the same people, them, I do the same thing, and Ravel up on the bench, and him play some people who can't break down nobody, who can't create nothing or something out of nothing, who can't play a penetrative pass. It's crazy. Huh? So you have the best opportunity. Where you going to try Tyrese Campbell and Burrell against Guatemala when we need to win? That's when you're going to try them? Huh? I just and by the way, people, we keep beating the coach, and sometimes we beat the players. The players need beating because they should be better, even with a bad coach. But somebody hire the coach, Coach not hire himself, Now, I'm not going to beat any players about yesterday, and I'm not going to laud any player. As far as I'm concerned, when you're grading against, we can't grade against BVI. I don't want to grade against 7.5 and SOFA score says this. That's what them think there. Them think they're nonsense, people. Nonsense. I not grade. It's like you grade Jamaica team I play against some Canada League team, and you give them grade because they get 10 and they get 9. Kind of nonsense that. Why would I want to put up SOFA score to show nonsense? You've been 1-0 against a team ranked 180 something, and you rank 63. You're in 1-0, people. Or BVI rank 181 or something. Them almost by the end of the map as it comes to football, and you barely scraped by them. And you talk about say you feel you you know what? Let me play the coach press conference. I think I have it here someplace. Let me play the press conference. Let me talk with the press conference. Let me play the press conference. Let me see if we can pull it up, people.
Coach McClaren. So let's get started, shall we? Go ahead. Yes.
Coach, what surprised you about the way the BVI played today?
Nothing surprised me. We've watched them for a couple of games, and the new coach is trying to get them playing in a good style, nice defensive block, and trying to play through on transition. So the game plan.
Now stop this as we go through it. BVI is trying to play through on transition. We have these fancy names concocted by football coaches to talk about going from back to front, defensive transition or offensive. A friend of mine and I have these arguments because I think they're trying to make football seem so sophisticated, and it's not. BVI kick the ball at the field, the people them out there. So if they can't run it down, they can't do nothing else. He talked about low block before this game. I don't want you to think about no low block. By the way, me just say before we go further, people. If me ever hear nobody else, on the media channel, I talk about say, the YouTubers this and the YouTubers that, and they're chronic and they're cancer and they're toxic. The what I don't know good. They ask the question them. No, what I talk about. So we all get beaten for this. No, ask me the idiot question, fool question, simplistic question. I hear YouTubers question, because YouTubers were there yesterday. At the official media day yesterday. Now, some of them were Jamaicans. At the official media day, up here, fool question and ask. Fool question, and it make no sense. I don't want to talk about Dixon and Cephas and this person and coach. What do you think the fans in Jamaica will think? I'm trying real hard not to cuss no bad word, I tell you the truth. I'm trying real hard to cuss no bad word, people. Yeah, question them there. I question them there. And I come knock YouTuber. Oh, they're toxic and they're this and they're that, and they're not smart, and they didn't go to UE and get a journalism degree. We don't need that. You eat your parents' money. If I that year after eat your parents' money, go back at UE, I go another school. You don't learn nothing. None of your questions are inquisitive. None of your questions are penetrative. None of your questions query what transpires in the field. None of your questions put the coach, make him uncomfortable. If he's uncomfortable, he's doing nonsense. None of you do that. Are you asking some little stupid question? That's why I boycott in the press conference. I was going to want to restrict it. And I'll give you about 1.5 questions or half a question. And when the man answer a question, I'm going to put him on sports max and can get something called nice question, ask and smile and like, but no. You should come on my channel, people, because I vex to me fool people. And you can disrespect YouTubers. And I go watch how YouTubers do them thing, but not disrespect YouTubers. When I disrespect YouTubers, they're not good, they're not about YouTubers in Jamaica space, and it's a varied number of them, have the best of intentions. Me talk about the best of intentions. Now they may not do things the right way sometimes. But if I'm going to compare YouTubers to the traditional media, all of them, it's night and day. There's no comparison. No comparison. In fact, why do I need to charge? I think it's my headset saying I need to charge. Anyway, if it comes up, just put out the headset and just start regular. Please, all of you, like Maverick, that was I don't go to the press conference because the YouTuber dumped the press conference. Maverick, you and your friend them want to talk about. We need a no football if you ask question. We no fool. All I know. See him all I know. I don't care if you don't want to beat me on that. All I know I see him. Pure fool question and ask. Let me get blanket and straight. Fool question. The question doesn't make no sense. They no ask no question when nobody want to know. Or they ask question where everybody know. That cannot be the way you operate in life. I pay an idiot question asked. At the first time, Mr. Simon, I'm comfortable one press conference now. Hey, Simon, you know chat Simon. If you don't chat Simon, show up. Simon was uncomfortable. People, let me play it again. Let me play. Simon uncomfortable. Keep playing. Simon uncomfortable.
Congratulations to them. I thought they made it very, very difficult for us. I think the opponent and the pitch combined together didn't allow for what we call free.
What do you mean the opponent and the pitch didn't allow? You impose your will on players. You impose the will of the team. What do you mean they don't allow? We have play Premier League and I play Championship. They money I play at the grave. And I do accounting for them. They don't play football. This is not football in the nation. You talk about they didn't allow. What do you mean you allow? What were you doing?
Flowing football. And we're not making no excuses. We should do better than that. But we needed to score a second goal. And we didn't do that. So we're always going to be nervous in the last 10, 15 minutes. But the key thing we said at the beginning was we win the game.
Let me. You know what? I'm trying to play this again. Me not hear that right. Let me put this again. Sorry, people. Let me hear this again. Maybe just say where I go.
But the key thing we said at the beginning was we win the game. We've got to win the game.
No, man. Let me see. I've got back people. I'm sorry, people. Him say something else before him say win the game. I can't believe him said this.
We should do better than that. But we needed to score a second goal. And we didn't do that. So we're always going to be nervous in the last.
Jamaica is nervous against BVI. Jesus Christ. I don't never see this. 1994, Jamaica BVI 12. Jamaica nervous against BVI, people. Big ass Jamaica. So we are footballing nation. Can pull up to 6 million people to source our team from. We are nervous against BVI. No, BVFI, British Virgin Football Island. We are nervous against them in the last 15 minutes because we could only score one goal. Let me keep playing. We're nervous. People, not bad with it, people. 108 likes, 264 people. Not bad with it, people. Not bad with it. I'm in a mood today. I'm in a mood. The like button. I'm in a mood, people. I'm in a mood.
10, 15 minutes. But the key thing we said at the beginning was we win the game. We've got to win the game. And got to find a way to win. And we won 1-0. But we know inside the dressing room that we can be better. And we need to be better next game against Guatemala with the Gold Cup coming up. They've got to be better than we were today. in terms of I think attitude, but maybe we came in with a little bit of complacency, and that showed in our slow play.
Any other questions? Go ahead.
Yeah, coach, despite the win, the Jamaica crowd was a little bit disappointed. What would you say to the crowd at the moment?
The Jamaica crowd was a little bit disappointed. I'm going to ask you guys in the chat, were you a little bit disappointed? That's the question I asked the people by British traditional media. Jamaica crowd were a little bit disappointed. What do you have to say to them? A little bit disappointed. Brandon Webb says, I'm going to try to help the coach by saying Man U lost to York City in 1995. Hey, Brandon, go back to 1995. Go back to 1995. I deal with 2025. You go back to 1995. Please do so.
I'm disappointed too, and the dressing room is disappointed as well. But that's football. There's no easy games in the Caribbean, you know that. We knew that against St. Vincent, and we know that again today. The key thing was St. Vincent, we got the draw, but here we got the win. And for me, I just say, we have to learn from this. It's also learning from me, and we have to move on quickly because
you are not learning. Every game where you don't do well, you say you have to learn from this. We have to learn from the US game. We have to learn from the first St. Vincent game. We have to learn from the 3-0 we beat St. Vincent. We just barely score 2 in the last minute. We have to learn. We have to learn. When are you going to learn? What are you learning? I have no idea what you're learning.
Guatemala will be a totally different proposition, and we need to be a better performance for it to win that one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Cathy Richards, JTV. What's your biggest takeaway from today's game?
The biggest takeaway is 3 points. So we're in the final group stage. That was the most important. And now we need to turn our attention to still Guatemala. But I've had lots of these debates. They're never pretty.
People calling.
They never go exactly how you want them to. You think everybody thinks we should beat them 5 or 6. We had 5 or 6 chances to do that.
No. And everybody think we should beat them 5 or 6. They gave up 10 goals in about 3 or 4 games. What do you mean? We're top of the group with Guatemala. We're supposed to be the best team in the group. Based on the ranking in CONCACAF, we're supposed to be the best team in this section, apart from Panama and Costa Rica in this round.
Down finishing was very, very poor. And we need to improve that as well.
Coach, you got it 3 points. You're going back home. How do you feel knowing that you got Andre Blake playing such a great position at goalie, another clean sheet for him? Why
are these people asking questions in the press conference? Hey, Simon, who them people are Simon? Or who them people are? Tell me now, no professional, no eloquent, no articulate comment. Hey, Simon, who them people ask the question? Simon, who is this person asking this question, Simon? Why am I press conference ask question? Me don't understand, Simon.
You speak on his performance?
Andre Blake, in a game when barely get no shot take to him, right? Him to make no 101 save. Why are we talking about Andre Blake, reporter? Why? There's a million one question you can ask. That's not the question.
It's important to keep a clean sheet. You don't lose games. We had one bit of quality set play to win the game. And towards the end, they're always taking risk, and it's always difficult. And Andre was always there to make the saves, interceptions, calm the team down. So he's a massive plus for us.
How did you like the reception here for the Jamaica crowd and the BVI crowd?
Great, good atmosphere. And, I think the players did.
You know what, people? I think, YouTubers. So I'm boycotting these press conferences going forward, YouTubers. I know you guys are not going to boycott it for whatever reason. It's your own personal decision. So I'm not beating you about it. But if I go to a press conference and these are the questions being asked, and we just won one, I think it's BVI, with an abysmal performance, against a team ranked 100 and something below us, and these are the questions being asked, I'm going to lose my goddamn mind. I may even call up people in the press conference for asking stupid questions. I don't call it stupid. No question is really stupid. For asking these type of questions. I would. I'm like, you know what? Stop. Stop. The coach need to feel uncomfortable. If you're asking these throwaway questions, it won't feel good. The coach should be walking out there sweating people. When he wins and wins against good team, he should walk out there in euphoria and happy and drinking wine or whatever. When we play crap and he did a horrible job, he should not be walking out there saying, you know what, these are the moron from the Caribbean. They can't even ask a tough question. If I was in England, they would slaughter me, literally and figuratively slaughter me. This is what question we have to listen to. God.
Appreciated their support at the end. Thanks, Captain. Yeah, we knew the guys more here. Was a lot. And they came out today and demonstrate support.
Do we have any follow-up questions?
Just a follow-up. After you went into the halftime with a 1-0 lead, what adjustments did you make for the second half to try to score again?
It moved the ball quicker, more movement up front. They were a bit static.
Halfway decent.
Got enough to opportunities, but once we had the opportunity to put the ball in the box, and make sure our rest defence was right, because that was their only threat. And I think they did that. But our final ball, our final cross, our final finish was not very good today. And this game was a lot about individuals and keep the form. We've done well in the previous two games in terms of performance and results. We didn't follow it up today. And that's the biggest disappointment for me, was that we never followed the performance that we had last week, this week.
BVI ranked in terms of FIFA rankings, because some teams, when they come into these types of games, based on the ranking, they have a certain game plan. And then, for teams that are ranked lower, it's more so there's a fair approach to the game. What was your game plan coming into here in terms of the approach when you would have came here to play Team BVI?
Yeah, our approach was to not be complacent, to make sure it's going to be a difficult game, make sure we score the first goal, and then make sure you follow that with the second goal.
Why would it be a difficult game? You expect a difficult game from BVI? What are we talking about? Huh? Sherman Scott, me soon deal with you, Sherman Scott. Don't worry, Sherman Scott. Me soon deal with you, Sherman Scott. Sorry, Sherman Scott, don't worry. Me soon deal with you. You're right there, you come mess with me. Soon deal with you. Why would we expect a difficult game from BVI? Did any of you expect a difficult game from BVI, people?
It makes life a lot easier when you control the game, to be fair to do that. So in terms of opportunities and finishing, it was poor today. But in general, we came here to win the game, to score goals, to attack, to get more crosses into the ball, more bodies into the ball, get better finish. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. That's football. I just get a result that Honduras just beat the Cayman Islands in the last minute of the time. So it just proves when you defend against the low block, it's difficult to lay that surface.
All right. Let's start the press conference, because my head hurt me. I mean, I learn nothing from it. I get more vexed the more you talk. I'll compare to England with Andorra. No year Honduras versus Cayman Island. We haven't had a good game. We played Nigeria and we got all euphoric, but we played St. Vincent before that in a meaningful game. Nigeria game was a friendly game. When the games are meaningful, we seem to struggle for some reason. Now, let me go back to this gentleman here. What's his name? Sherman Scott said, Cranky, you don't have to come, Cranky. And Sherman, I'm sure when people like me come, it's not pleasant. So of course you don't want me to come. You probably love that I don't come. And I'm not coming to no press conference. Think I was supposed to get a press pass. I don't want it. I'm not coming. It's a waste of time. First of all, when I come to these press conferences, I get one question, maybe two. I think I got three in the girls because there's limited number of people. You can't ask no follow-up. He doesn't answer any question in those conferences. The only time he answers questions, half of them when he got interviewed by Sportsmax when they have time to ask him. There's a reason why the JFF will not provide him to YouTubers to interview him. Because we're going to truly interview him. We're going to truly challenge him. We're going to question him. We're going to make him uncomfortable with questions that are intrusive, that are penetrative, that's going to focus on what we want to know, what we need to know. We're not asking no throwaway question, but nobody don't care about. So yes, I'm sure people like you don't want me to be at the press conference. Yeah, I'll take a call, people, but it's very difficult for me to take calls. I brought my contraption, it doesn't work. I could take a call, but it has to be WhatsApp. I have two of my phones here, but I didn't put the international on one of these phones. But I can take a call on WhatsApp. I think I have, let me make sure I connect to this hotel WhatsApp system before I do so. But yes, Sherman. Sherman, you and I are on the same page. You're happy I'm not coming, and I'm not coming. We're both happy, Sherman. So it's a good thing. Bless up, Tycoon. Thanks for the compliment, Tycoon. I appreciate it. The coach is being shielded. The coach is not being held accountable for what he says and what he does. The coach are treated like we are puppet, like we don't have no sense, like we are idiot. You hear the term? No, idiot. Coach are treated like we are idiot. Why do I say that? I can go back from the start. Doesn't spend any time in Jamaica. These calls are going to be short, people. Ardain, you're going to come next. Hello?
Frankie.
Yeah, how are you doing?
I'm doing very good.
All calls are 5 minutes, people. All calls are 5 minutes. Come here for run. All calls are 5. All calls, then hang up. If you don't, let me say this, people. Today's not the day. Today's not the day. 5 minutes, or we can't talk. Yes, we know we're talking to. 5 minutes, or we're not talking. Frankie's one of those moods where I don't even want to talk to myself. So let me hear what you say.
You're much Atlanta working out here really good.
I am going to go back to Atlanta. I like Atlanta. It was a brilliant trip, and I'm going to go back there because I think I may want to lay roots there. But anyway, what you got to say, sir?
Okay, real quick. I think I have a couple of questions or
questions. We can't answer your question. You have to ask the coach.
Well, maybe the people in the chat could have maybe.
All right.
So if you get on a plane,
mm-hmm.
I heard Man's Man yesterday did a little short piece, and one of the things he talked about today is the idea that 10% of the things that happen to you in life, and the other 90% is how you respond to those things. That's a concept that I've heard a long time, and some people believe that that's what life is about, right?
Mm-hmm.
The thing that happened to the Reggae Boyz recently, if you want to frame it in that, is that they're playing CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers. You had to play BVI, right? Because they're in your group. You had to play BVI in BVI, right? The grounds aren't good, but CONCACAF approved the ground, right? And it was 3:00 in the evening. That's the 10%. Do you agree with that?
Sound like excuses, but go on. Go ahead.
No. That's the 10%. The
Okay. Yes. Let's call it 5%. Call it 5%. We're not playing nobody, so
right.
can't get 10%.
If you want to call it 5%, the other 95 is good according to what management shared yesterday. Is how you respond to it, right?
Right.
How you respond to those things. If you want a plane flying somewhere, and the weather and everything is great, you expect the plane to get there. Would you expect the plane to get there if the weather is bad? You expect the pilot to still get the plane there?
Of course. Else I'm not gonna be alive.
Right. So
and by the way, you know, my flight was bumpy as you know what last night. And me I look around for the plane and nobody now. Wait. Everybody. Somebody said I'm pastor. My only good service was somebody said I'm pastor last night. In fact, me I have him subscribe to my channel. Okay, I'm desperate to get the 3,000. and him I talk about Jesus. I know something like Jesus thing, but me still listen. But me get Jesus last night. I said the place so bumpy. The man so calm. I say, let me get calm like him, but keep going. And you're the pilot now. Hey, stewardess, you go sit down now because it's gonna be rough. I mean, I say, Star, why we pick a flight? We could take a flight like 2 hours earlier. Playing 2 hours late and bumpy. Because when we fly from Jamaica, not really bumpy most time, you know. But anyway, keep going. We digress. Bumpy flight, bumpy, bad.
Right, so you would still expect the pilot to do his job and get the plane to where it needs to go.
Yes.
Right. So I'm hearing a lot of conversations about the coach and the coach and the coach. The Japanese have a philosophy that you must give maximum effort in everything that you do. So if hypothetically somebody made the argument that the players aren't given maximum effort, what would be the solution?
I disagree with that. This is not an effort thing.
I said hypothetically.
But no, we're not going to hypothetical on something that doesn't happen. They're giving maximum. I watch the game. They give maximum. Some are just not at the right level. Some are being
maximum effort.
I think they gave the maximum effort. I don't think it was an effort issue.
You think or you know? You want to
no, because you can't know. We can't see you know, right? Because you're not playing, you don't dare.
Yes, you could know.
No, you can't know. You don't have to give maximum. No. Then you're reading minds. You can't do that.
No, but let me show. We see these guys play. We have a point of reference. We see them play for the club team. We see how they press. Right? We see how they work.
No. You can't use that because here's the thing. What's the coach's philosophy? What is his strategy? What did they ask them to do? We can't say they didn't press. Where they asked to press? Did they play mid block? Did they play low block? Did they play high press? We don't know what they're playing. In fact, we have no idea what his style is. His style is well, I adapt to the team I'm playing against. You ain't got no goddamn style.
So at what point in your mind does it go from the responsibility shifts from the coach to the players?
Look, I think all the parties involved are responsible and have to be. From the administrators to select the coach to the players. Yes, the players should overcome bad coaching because they have the ability to do so, right? But if you put the wrong players in the wrong situation, they're not going to execute as they should. What would you have done? Would you have played your worst team or your best team yesterday to try to get over the line as quickly as possible?
As a coach, I always play my best team.
But you have to get over the line as quickly as possible, and then you figure out what to do afterwards. Then you make changes.
But that probably wasn't. He probably believed that was his best team.
Yeah. So that was best team with. I don't want to call it a name.
Yeah. If he got the selection wrong, okay, that's one argument. But at the end of the day, I mean, when you look at it, right? Because I was thinking about this. When I watch, sometimes, I don't have the player pool like you all have right now. Players playing at the level that you all played at, right?
Yeah.
But I can't think of a game in recent history where they did not give maximum effort.
As I said, I don't think I think we're disrespecting players when we keep saying they're not giving effort. No. We are.
The intent is not. No. We're not saying they're not giving effort, and the intent is not.
We're questioning their integrity. That's what we're doing.
No. Maximum effort is what we're talking about. These guys, there's nobody on that team that they played yesterday play anywhere. They have guys on that team that doesn't even have a club team. They play national team football, and they don't have a club team.
They're probably doing chef. They're probably chef and doctors and coaches. They're not professional footballers.
So how could you account for the fact that they weren't dominated? And they look really comfortable. They didn't look uneasy.
Because we have no because we have no leadership, no strategy. No coach to say, you know what? Here's what people impress me. And I always say this about life in any discipline, which is this. Your speed of thought and your quality of thought. Your ability to adapt to situations. Your ability to outthink your opponent. Your ability to assess your say, you know what? This is not working. Let me pivot and do something different. Okay, you know what? See if that's not working today. Maybe I change and put gray out wide and put somebody else in the middle. I try something different, given facts and circumstances, to allow me and give me the best chance to win. You know what? They're playing deep. Okay, maybe I need to try something different. Maybe I need to go down the wing and put the ball in the box like we did with Warner Brown. More of that is the strategy. I try something which I think, look for vulnerabilities in their team and try to exploit those. Right? Everybody got vulnerabilities. Even in low block, they have vulnerabilities. I don't know what we're doing. Just playing football. We're playing slow. Low get the ball and he pass it back to. Low get the ball sometime with him alone and he pass it back to his two center halves. And I'm sitting there thinking, what the hell are we doing?
So let me just give before I go an experience. I'm coaching a U15 team a few years ago, U16 team or something like that. We had 2 teams in a tournament. One of the coaches was supposed to come straight from work. His flight got delayed, so he wasn't going to arrive until the Saturday afternoon. So I'm left to coach both teams. For the first time, I'm going to the second game, and there's an overlap. So the first game overlapped the second game, so I arrived about 10 minutes late. And I stood for about 10 minutes watching these kids play without a coach on the bench. And it seemed as though they didn't need a coach. They were doing everything that they were expected to do with the right intensity. And what I found out is that they said they're going to try to score a goal before I got there. Okay? And these are young kids. They took responsibility and they decided that they're going to go play and they're going to do the things that they're expected to do. And they did it, and they did very well. So I am struggling. Yes, the coach is important in putting things in place. That team's been together a long time now. What point in time we're saying, hey, these guys have to go out, and as you said earlier on in your conversation, impose themselves on the opponent. The value of your team yesterday was ridiculous.
Now, what's the value of the coach?
I don't know. I don't know where the balance where it comes from, but we just have to. I think it's we might be looking in the wrong place. I'm not sure.
You think it's the players and not the coach? I mean, I put you that
well,
one.
I'm not. It's not. They're both involved. I don't know what is the balance. But when I look at the game, and I could be wrong. When I look at the game, I think there can be a little more effort. As a matter of fact, who scored the goal?
Warner Brown scored from a header.
Where does Warner Brown play?
Playing the JP, but he's the one playing center forward.
And to be honest with you, I don't want to get too into the weeds of this, but those are the guys that seem to be given a little bit extra effort.
But Warner Brown wasn't the best player yesterday. Everybody said Gray was the best player. I don't understand your logic, Andre. Everybody said by good distance Gray was the best player. So, but you no. You use the goal as the barometer. No. Use the goal as the no. Stop there. You use the goal as the barometer to judge effort. That's asinine.
No. Because without the goal, steam will be coming out.
Somebody passed him the ball.
Steam will be coming out.
So Dixon played locally. Did Dixon have effort? When Dixon get chance? When do it?
He didn't play well yesterday, but he gave an effort.
Yeah. Sometimes there's full effort, and there's good effort. Sometimes the effort. Hey, I love can't go give effort, but can I produce on the field? What effort? We did talk about this effort thing. People, there's ability and then there's effort. I could work hard as what I want. If I ain't good, I ain't good.
No, Cranky, that's not how it works. And effort is the thing. Is the thing that allows, it brings into play. As when you're developing players, it helps build character.
Okay.
Right? It helps build resilience. Right? It gives a sense of pride. That's how important giving maximum effort is.
Okay.
And for some cultures, they do nothing without it. So I don't know what the answer is. Was that Trinidad win 6? I better talk about that and stop.
Man, they're not typing. They're not typing. The tribal. We're tribal today. We're tribal today.
Yeah, but it's okay. It's okay when people don't. I understand that people don't understand something sometimes. So they don't understand. So.
But Andre, we have this narrative, and you don't say that narrative. You don't fall into this trap. Maverick, TVJ, all them Jamaica people talk about effort. But you know what? They trade the kids to get effort, but they trade them to play football.
It's more complicated than that.
No, it's not. It's simple.
No, it's more complicated than that. The kids. When the coach in his interview the other day said that the kids in England are educated from the time they are 6 years old. Effort is not only physical, right? Effort is a mental thing as well. Trying to do the thing that you're supposed to do to the best of your ability. it's also a mental thing. It's not just physical.
All right, Andre, if that's what you say, Andre, because my head is hurting me. Andre, let me say this. Let me say this, Andre. Let me say, my head hurt. Let me say this, Andre. No matter how effort you give in life, okay, you know what? I'm gonna try to be a doctor. I'm gonna study as hard as I can to pass all the subjects, biochemistry, all that needed. I'm gonna try to go to medical school. My brain doesn't have the capability to digest the information, but I'm gonna study 24/7. Effort I gave, ability I don't have. But you know what the outcome is? I ain't gonna be no doctor.
Yeah, you're confusing some things here.
No, I'm not confusing or conflating anything.
But this is all I'm gonna add.
That was mental effort I gave. The mental effort wasn't good enough.
Do not to the fan base. Do not contribute. But contribute to the success of this team and this team going to the World Cup, because we don't know if anybody else is gonna go, and this team have to go to the World Cup.
What do you mean? Do not? I'm confused about that comment, Andre. What are you talking about?
This team have to go to the World Cup, and this team is in a good position to go to the World Cup. Yes,
this team is underperforming, and if we keep performing this way, look, people in life. Let me just say something, Andre. Before you go, let me say something before you go. In life, people, there's a series and a body of work that inform your view about someone's capability and give you some inclination and some perspective as to how they may do going forward. The way we're playing, we're not going to win as we get better. So we can talk all we want about, well, they win the next round. The way we're playing, we're not going to win. That's why we're upset. That's why we're perturbed. That's why when people talking about, well, England against Andorra, well, it's the task force. Go, you defend them in England. The dullest. Wait. I heard Robbie this morning talking about the dullest you've ever seen. All you people out there trying to give rationale and explanation as to some comparative about how the game was played and results. Go, when you talk about York to lose to Man U lose to York or England lose to Andorra, go and watch what their fans are saying, then come talk to me. But stop using crap as your analogy and your example to substantiate your position, because it's nonsense. It's nonsense.
I believe Jamaica is going to the World Cup.
Okay. We're going to go as fans or we're going to go as a team? I'm just curious.
That's up to the fans, the team, and the coach.
All right. The 5 minutes became 15, so.
I believe that's not because of you. I believe because you wanted to talk about your plane flight. I believe that Jamaica is positioned to go to the World Cup. And if Jamaica doesn't go to the World Cup, that's something that you're going to have to deal with after the fact. That's my belief.
Okay. I think we deal with nothing because we don't control nothing, so we can't deal with nothing. We're supposed to deal with the pain of it, but we don't control anything. So we have no ability to influence most of the things that happen in the JFF, because the JFF do what they do, right? They do what they do. The coach do what they do. The players do what they do. We can only go support with our money and our time and by the way, you hear the support in BVI. You hear the support at Unity Cup. I'm sure they're going to be supported at the stadium for Guatemala. The fans are doing their part. But what we refuse to do is not criticize when criticism is so obviously needs to be done. We will not shut up and dribble. Well, we don't dribble.
That was the first game after the Unity Cup, and everybody was happy after the Unity Cup. What went wrong?
We need a coach. But anyway, we'll talk, Andre. We'll talk. We'll talk. All right, listen. All right, thanks. I know you're so happy that Trinidad I do well. So you're happy. What?
Trinidad would always do the best, so.
Trinidad always give effort.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a reality. That's the US.
All right. Later. Okay. Good evening. Who am I speaking to? Next phone.
Yeah, speaking to Basil. I called it probably a couple of days ago, probably 4 days, 5 days. Yeah.
Hey Basil, how you doing?
Hey, not bad. I just probably was looking at some comparison. The team that play
British football Virgin Islands.
Yeah. I call it Tin Cry because I was over there, not for the match, but
okay.
So I call it Tin Cry. All right. I look at the comparison of the team that went to World Cup. before they played the same team, not the same team, but the same country. Before going to the World Cup. Okay, so we go back probably 30 years. We'd more than all of them guys.
Okay. I think we played them last time. It was 94, wasn't it? I don't remember us playing them during the World Cup. Well, yeah.
12-0.
94,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, so that would be 12-0. I don't want to probably bash the team like probably others, but I am looking at the players who played the match against us. You see, we got to go into the game knowing that we are playing a team and not just a walkover or a pushover. And so we have to go with a mindset to know that, well, we are here to play football. We are gonna beat this team, and hands down. The minute the game starts, you can see that we are not even passing the ball, and how much touch we have to take off of the ball and everything. And I said, this is not good. Until the guys realize after a while that, well, we are in a match and we can play. We can play this Jamaica team. And I am sure, I am 100% sure that if it wasn't Blake in the goal, it would be a different ball game. 3 times they make a player when we know that if there was another goalkeeper, we would not have been saying that we got the 3 points. It would be a different story. I say this to say that we are bragging that we are going to the next World Cup. And we must go to the next World Cup, but that's not true. That's not true. You know, if we want to go, we gotta play for a place. It's not a walk in the park or a hand me down. This is Jamaica in the World Cup. We gotta do that. I'm not sure of the grouping who will be, but I am saying to you, if we do not win our group, it could be a sad for us.
Well, before this program is done, I have some good news for the fans. So, no, remember people, we have some good news. We have some good news for the fans. We don't play with them thing. We have some good news for the fans. When this is all done, when we're done with all of this diatribe and this vexation, and we have some good news for the fans. So, yeah, we have some good news. We have some good news. Well, I hope it's good news. I hope it's good news. It's good news for some. It won't be bad news for others, but it's good news for some. Anyway, yeah, man.
Remember the last time we talked, I was saying that if we don't gel a team, you know, we could have get every big player. We already having some good players, but not a team. And I saw that too. I was thinking the coach would play back the 11. Just add the captain and play back the 11 that went to the cup.
Well, I could see him not playing Hayden because we don't have another 6, and Hayden is not a youngster anymore. And Hayden played those 2 games. He's going to play 2 games here, and he's going to play all the Copa games. That wouldn't work. I can see Hayden not playing, but the question: who should be in the 6? That's the question. Who should play the 6? I can understand Hayden not playing the full game or playing part of the game because we don't have another 6, and you want to be nurse. You want to treat him as if he's a precious metal, and you don't want to damage him. But he's got to think about alternatives. But we're going to touch upon the team to people and who is in the team and who got left out and who shouldn't have got left out. We're going to touch upon that. Even though this program is supposed to be 2 hours or less. Yeah, man. Anything else in mind? But I appreciate the card, man.
No, just to say that we are not to leave the team in the sense that the support we have to support.
No, we're not gonna. No, man. What do you think that we are cost and carrier? We're not gonna win, man. We can't go away. One team we have enough. We can't go support nobody else.
Yes, so we can talk hard, as I say, we can talk hard, and the hard talking is for the players to open their eyes and see that they are in a game, they're in a competition, right? But to say empty stadium and all that there.
No, we don't. Me I got games. I mean, I don't empty stadium. If I'm alone in there, me alone in there. Me not care. Me I got game go watch my team and support my team. But that means that me can't beat my team when them do nonsense. That's what me stay. If you do good, you get flowers, and if you do poorly, you get beaten. That's how life goes. And if you're average, then we just normal. Yeah. We're not boycott no team. We're not boycott no team. Because if we boycott them, then we're not going to win. And no support. We're not doing nonsense. That's nonsense.
That's true, Cracky. Listen, me say no. I could have said, well, I am half Jamaican and half Panamanian. My mother is a Panamanian, right?
So you're half and half. Yeah, you're half and half.
Yeah, so we could have said, well.
So you will be at the World Cup. You'll be at the World Cup. Panama.
Yes, man. Yeah, man. Because that is what I'm saying. That man, I would just love to see that we qualify, and I would be able to. I'm in the States, so I would be able to go to the matches anywhere, Canada, anywhere, Mexico, anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, so that is another thing with me. You know, I am just praying that boy we could make it and let me go and sit for the first time. I've been to every match except World Cup. I haven't been to a World Cup match, you know, with like at Jamaica. No team at all. I've been to no cup. No, the World Cup match.
Well, this is a good time to go.
No. And this would be the ideal time. You understand? So that is what I'm saying. I'm saying that I'm not gonna write them off, but I'm gonna just like a bad child. I'm gonna give them a good schooling.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say we can do much better.
Totally agree.
We are not one goal better than a St. Croix team. We are at least 6 goals better than that team.
Well, we didn't prove it. We didn't prove it.
How we didn't prove it? So we need schooling. We need some schooling.
Yeah, man.
All right.
All right, sir. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Let me do a compare. So, you know, we have gone back to thinking about how we pick this team, right? The coach brought Ravel in under pressure from various sources. I don't know what was the deciding factor, but when we see the midfield play, there is no assurance in the midfield, apart from maybe Hayden in some respects. We don't see that midfielder who's controlling the tempo of the game, who's speeding up the game, who's slowing up the game, who is thinking through, you know what, this is what's needed, so let me put it in place, right? Who is providing direction to the players in front of him and helping to protect the defense. We're not seeing that as well as we should. Hayden does a lot of that from a 6 standpoint. The 8 position, even though people tell me about Russell, is a hit and miss. I'm gonna come back to you, Chris Smith, but let me just say this: Colin Quest, as usual, Colin, we appreciate the contribution, sir. Colin said, "Fire the coach. He's a madman. No Malik, no justice, no peace." Yeah, we're gonna go to what Chris Smith said earlier about Mothersill. Where Chris says, "Cranky, Charlton looking at Mothersill, but Peterborough wants a lot of money. A lot of people looking at Mothersill. Dub Hub, I'm not gonna take a call yet. May I finish this first? Call me back, Dub Hub. All right, call you back. Cranky, Charlton looking at Mothersill. Yeah. So let me go to some comparison, people. I'm not taking no call for the next 10-15 minutes. Let me do some comparison. I said, I supposed to have some things here now, but let them drop off. So let me try to pull them up. I don't know what happened. I had some images here and then drop off. So let's do first me I do Campbell versus Mothersill. So Tyrese Campbell was brought in. Tyrese plays for Charlton, really good player, had a good season. So I'm gonna compare Tyrese and Mothersill. We're gonna go to how does the coach make decision. If you see what's here, let me make this bigger. They both play similar minutes. They both play similar total number of minutes. They both play similar games. Mothersill has 12 goals. Tyrese has 7. That's in the championship. I think Tyrese has 8-1 in the cups. Goals per game, Mothersill stats are better. Shots on target, Mothersill shots are more on target. Shots off target, they're similar. Mothersill missed more big chances, right? And Mothersill has 9 assists. Tyrese has 1. So if you look at this, you'd say, what's the difference between Tyrese and Campbell? Why does he choose Campbell over Tyrese? I have no idea. Look at the stats, people. The stats don't lie, right? The stats don't lie. So that does beg the question. That don't make no sense to me. That don't make no sense to me, right? That don't make no sense to me. So let's go back again. I'll put up some more stuff. That is important. Let me move this from the stage. So that's Tyrese versus Marcel. So let's try to add another thing to the stage. I don't know why this thing don't want to come off. Let me try to remove these things, people, and we can come back to them. Which one is this? This is Tyrese. Let me take this one off. Move this from the studio. Which one is this? This is Tyrese again on Marcel. Let me take this one off too. I have one here I want to show you. I'm not sure why this keep popping up. I had a bunch of them here. Let me see if this is the one. This is weird. Let me go pull this up, people. I'll come. Give me 1 second. So this is now Dixon versus Marcel, right? Dixon's in the team. Marcel is not. Dixon playing 90 minutes per game. Kind of play more than 3 games. 3 games in play. Marcel 73 minutes per game. Dixon played 56 minutes for Charlton. Same League One team. Same League One Marcel playing. Marcel played 3,000 minutes. Dixon have 3 matches played. Marcel played 45. Dixon have no goals. Marcel have 12. Dixon have no assists. Marcel have 9. Now, who in their goddamn mind make decision about players like this and tell me that we can justify selecting Marcel Dixon? I like Dixon. This is all that potential. But this desperation to get any person in the team who may have some ability so that we can justify having local players in the team is asinine. Marcel's contribution is this, people. He has 12 goals and 9 assists. 21 goal contribution in about 45 games, about 1 and 2. Right? He has 1 and 2 goal contribution. If you watch him play, he looks more like an 8 than a 10 because he's making true passes from deep that's splitting right and left back or left and center back. He's splitting center back and left back. You watch him play deep and the passes between the line. We don't have nobody to do that in the entire team first. Nobody in that team to do that. Maybe Ravel can, but he's not doing it right now. Those stats tell me any coach worth their salt in playing people play in the same league where one player has no stats, guy not get no game. Another player stats better than the one you have in your team, and you don't get no game out of the team. And come with your bullshit argument about, oh, Marcel, and he's going on vacation. What kind of crap is that? Who makes those decisions? And then you guys complain about cranky on the negative and cranky on the this. Don't we use stats and form and ability and contribution as the criteria to put people in our team? What criteria are we using? Please explain the criteria to me that we're using people to select people. Explain them to me. Now I hear everybody want to buy Marcel to get a championship. Charlton want to buy him, other teams are buying him, team around him. Because when you have 21 goal contribution in a league that you're playing in, right? It suggests you have ability. I am flabbergasted. I am trying to understand the rationale for the selection. I'm confused. Marcel stats are better than Tyrese. Marcel score goals. Now, none of them are penalty, to be honest. And by the way, Marcel was on the field when playing Nigeria and they take penalty. We gave it to Busy Atkins. And Busy Atkins is not penalty taker. I am so tired. I'm just losing. I just don't understand people. I don't understand. I try to be a very rational person who uses logic as my basis for living. That's why I don't believe in a Jesus. I'll be honest. I try to use logic in my life. I get beaten by the Jesus thing all the time. Maybe believe in God, I believe in Jesus. You know, people say, what you say about logic and God? But I don't understand the logic here. It eludes me. We have Busy Atkins. Go compare Busy Atkins' stats in JPL to Marcel stats in League One. I said this again. Go and compare Busy Atkins, who listed as a midfielder, and Marcel to me can play the 8 easily. Because a lot of time in sports, that's why I don't talk about this coach and coach. I respect certain things. I understand what certain things in life. I understand that coaches sometimes don't. I keep saying this 1,000,001 times. Sometimes coaches can't see a player's potential in certain areas and then play them when they normally play. And they try to know else. Gaming says, I like the coach I tell because him say once Madison will go into the Gold Cup squad if him call Madison, then he might come The coach just say a bunch of nonsense. Coach just start nonsense all the time. Nonsense. Yes, I agree. Free Madasil. That's brilliant, Jay. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. No, but people, tell me if I'm way off on this. I have 3 players. I mean, I'll be Tyrese Gambino. I mean, like Tyrese, but we don't watch championship football that much. We don't watch League One. We go watch Tyrese, but tape delay and live, right? He can play. But Motherton's stats is better than Tyrese, and it's better than and Busy Watkins, and it's better than Dixon. And you're 21 years old. And then a bunch of you people like to beat the English-born players about how they want to play for England and they disrespect that. And then want to disrespect them. If you're Mothersill, and you look at the comparative and the comparison and the people you're up against and you're compared against, and you look at your stats versus their stats, and you said to yourself, I want them. Why would I want to come to this country and play football? Why would I care about these people? They don't care about me. They don't like me. Why would I want to go try to play for this country when my stats means nothing and they're picking people who don't have no stats to compare? So Paul Edwards, as a coach, Paul Edwards, can you like beat me, Paul? You like beat me, Paul? Paul, please explain the logic to me of selecting Tyrese to Dixon and to a lesser extent Tyrese over Mothersill. Paul, they're playing in the same league. One scores and assists, one scores and one don't get no playing time. And by the way, the one who don't get no playing time and play over the one who play for him same team and will start every game. Can somebody on this platform call in and explain to Cranky, who may be getting an aneurysm, how this works? Because it make no sense to me. I mean, I struggle. I mean, that's smart. I struggle. Please explain to me, people, how this works. I'm in this hotel room with hot like I'm trying to turn on the AC in an hour. Even though I must say this, people, I'm not telling you why I'm there, but this hotel is nice. Not telling lie, nice. Not telling lie. It's a decent hotel. Them do a good job. If I drive around the country, because my friend them tell me to buy the country, bill up, so if I drive around the country. All right. This is CC. CC, good evening. Yes. Want explanation? Please tell me, CC. Educate me.
Explanation.
Yeah?
Let me give the explanation.
I'm listening.
Ask the coach the question. Simply because there's somebody there. Me hear Flavor Max I said, but wait for the time I ask the coach a question that everybody already asked. But me say, me still when me ask the question, say, how is it that Mothersill, because him say Mothersill have him passport, so why Mothersill never get select if him have him passport? Then he say, sitting about vacation. Then we see World Cup 2026 squad come up, we see Mikel Antonio on the squad. No disrespect to Mikel Antonio. So you have to tell me, say, Mikel Antonio is more much ready than Mothersill.
So let me just say this, people, and you can take it the wrong way, but as you know, Craig Guns was in his mind. I think it's irresponsible to play a player who's been out with a very serious situation, even though he's been training in a very competitive environment and not working batting slowly. I don't care if he's at West Ham running around. You got to play these practice game and give us when it's not truly competitive and build him up to get to this level.
But Cranky, the coach contradicted himself. The coach says the reason why Shamar is not in the team, he hasn't played since April.
Right.
When last Antonio played. But I'm not saying it's any fault of his because he was in an accident. And I love that he has come back. And a lot of other players would have probably retired and their career would have ended. So I love that he's back and everything. But I just want to know, when last, as in comparison to even Shamar Nicholson, because that's the answer he gave for Shamar. Shamar hasn't played over a month now. He isn't sharp, he isn't ready. So what is the how do you bring somebody that hasn't played over 6 months now?
I think Shamar exclusion from the team is performance-based. So the guys, please let's go back to Copa, where you hear me call out Shamar have 2 touches now, all half of a game. Please go back to Shamar's performances subsequent to them. Shamar is a good footballer, but Shamar, I don't know what happened, is not been playing well. And you can't reward people who are, even though they have good legacy, good resume, squad that goes to Jamaica, they're not playing well. It's unfair to other players who are playing better not to get in the team. That's why you need to beat the Montreal drum.
Yeah, but that's why I'm saying that. All right, so I'm saying if Shamar now perform fine, but to say that he hasn't played ball in a month, nobody come say that. Just say Shamar has really been performing, and you know.
But CC, this coach, you know, in India they say you're two-tongue.
This, Frankie, with the Montreal situation. The reason why I asked them is that me I said Tyrese Campbell basically get two passport what they had to.
Yeah, he just got his.
He's picked, right?
Yeah.
And the time at which Madison did I say the coach say must say they go on vacation. So all right, vacation, you have to tell me say even the vacation that they go on. I don't know, like for me, I say if I stop.
No. I'm guys. You can't be like smoke screen get in the way of facts and substance. Don't let smoke screen in front of it. Everybody in England, most people in England, everybody, at this time of the year, they want to go someplace apart from that gloomy ass place they live. Okay? So everybody talk about, oh, you're going to Spain, the weather is nice. Because weather is important in life. Everybody go someplace. Then go places you wouldn't think about. Ibiza, Morocco, Spain. They want to go Portugal. They want to go anywhere apart from England. But the weather is so dull. Why would Marcel, who have a long season, want to go someplace in vacation? What does the vacation have to do with you and him not picking him? If you pick him and he says he's not coming because of personal reason, that we get a lot of time, then you know what? Marcel, you didn't want to come. Did you pick him, coach? And why aren't you guys, in the traditional media, who get all the time, when you ask the goddamn question you should be asking? Except...
That is it. Did you pick him? That is what I said. Did you pick him? Did you select him? Did you pick up the phone and call him? Did you have a conversation with him? Because my problem is this, Frankie. You call the guy, you said the guy was going on vacation, and you called him to come and train with the team, and then you found out he has his passport, and then he was on the bench. So he was going on vacation, and he decided to come and train with the team, right? Watch it, follow me now, Frankie, the team, He decided, pause in vacation, come train with the team, they're on the bench. So you are telling me, a young man that does that, you are telling me, say, the team say, oh, you know, I am having a selection for the upcoming Gold Cup, or even World Cup qualifying. You are telling me, say, you're not telling young man that, what is the cup?
There are the part, I'm telling you, guys, let me just say this. I don't have a ton of facts, but it's my view, there are other parties at work in all this.
But me just say, like, did you not say to the young man, yo, you know, say, I have like my life, I see and everything, and you know, you have performed in a club. Me having a consideration for this 23 for the World Cup qualifier. Will you be available? Because it's not like you need a phone call now, Frankie. You want in a training right there, so.
Yeah.
You want in a training right there, so you could have a look a moment where you talk to the youth. You get me? I say, like, so remember Tyrese played the 21, FIFA or something, you know. He played one qualifying game, you know. So that means you have Madison in a year thing there. Tyrese did the way smart in there. But to be honest, it look like to me Tyrese get team call before even the championship playoff. Same I get picked. While Madison get called for come a Unity Cup, come do what? If you have a call him for come a Unity Cup, come sit on the bench. I would think that it's because you're considering to call him for the World Cup qualifier. So I'm not getting a straight answer. Right now, probably I don't want to answer the question I'm asking him as a coach. Did you pick Madison? Did you?
Wait. Why? Okay, I'm gonna call you out. Why are you guys going to the press conference?
Why am I going?
Yeah. Apart from a free ticket, where you going?
Where free ticket?
You're not free to go in. Me not beat you. Since me ask a question. Since me not beat you. Apart from a free ticket, if you go in at the game, so we can go in the media section. So we are media. Why would you go to the press conference?
Why would I go to the press conference?
Yeah.
To get information from the coach.
What information? Did he give you information? Has the coach ever answered any question in that press conference?
He has
any divisive, any incisive, penetrative, intrusive question. Has he ever answered any of them? Which what a lot of YouTubers ask. Has he answered any of them? Or he talks around in a circle?
Talk around in a circle.
Okay.
But the only thing though, Cranky, if you don't go and if you don't make him talk in a circle, then you can't come out and say, no, look, see the coach talking in
No,
circles.
no, 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 no. We can't control the circle because we only get one question or two questions, and we don't get follow-up questions. You can't follow up your question. When he was on Sports Max, they asked him a question and they followed up twice because he didn't answer it. Right? And even then he didn't fully answer it.
Because me see the guy from JFK Live, I saw him ask a question. I mean, I said to myself, but I know you're not going to ask questions that actually warrant, like, with the people that really want to know are probing questions. Because it ain't like somebody, I don't know how you put it, to say, some of the questions, you're even in traditional media, some of the questions look like some butter question. Like me, if I say, why the coach not get? For me, I never say fire the coach not get. Because I just know say it's on very rare occasions that they have multiple coaches. That's one of Jamaica problem. Different changing coaches every second don't guarantee success. Unless you're Roman Abramovich. People not change coach and you get success all the time. Brazil have been changing coaches multiple times. People are saying yes, they've changed, but qualifying for the World Cup is not Brazil's objective. Winning the World Cup is. So it's a two different things because Brazil never miss a World Cup. So qualifying is a guarantee for them, for them eyes. So for me, the coach is just not being held, what do I call it, accountable. Like for people to ask back-to-back questions to say, coach, based on your answers and utterances, it is not lining up with what you went out and did. You said it's a low black team. You had Busy Atkins, Ravel, and Casey Palmer, who you picked as your three creative players. All of them started on the bench. Why?
Well, no, he'll say that Graves was creative, right? So he'll be able to get away with answering that question. The larger question would be, you said before the game that you had Ravel in the squad because you play low block T, you want somebody creative to break down those defenses. Why was Ravel on the bench? You said it. We didn't say it. You said it. So we're going to hold you accountable to your word. Why was Ravel on the bench? Why did you play Ravel? Why would Ravel, who has the ability to create something out of nothing, to bamboozle players with giving them opportunity, to get by players and make an incisive pass, which you don't seem to have in your team? Why weren't you playing? We didn't say it. You said it, coach.
Ask you the same question.
Right.
Why do you go to the press conference?
I'm not. I told you I'm boycotting the press conference.
No, but the last time I said I boycotted me.
Because people pressure me, so if you go, they pressure me, so me not take no pressure. Me not take no pressure. Me say me not go and me get too much phone call and text about cranky. You have to go my youth. You have to go and ask some question. Right? I'm say all right, fine. Then me not go. I ask for a pass. Them say me pass approved. Me not go. Me not go to press conference. No, I did put him for a pass, and I was told it was approved. I don't know if they rescinded it. You know, JFSTA. So I'm not gonna accuse them of rescinding it. But me not go. You can't say me not go to press conference.
I don't think, like, for me, when we get a press pass or not, I'm going to be at the match. And as a matter of fact, I'm gonna say something that a lot of people don't understand. Every single Jamaica match that I've went to, I've paid to go into the stadium. As a matter of fact, every match that I've went to in Jamaica, not to go say, me get ticket from like people for the radar, so me get ticket, and sometimes I just give it a ticket and pay. So put it like this. Every time I've gone to the match, Cranky, I paid my money to go into the stadium. But that match already, I'm gonna say to myself, oh me there in that match if me not do no video. And I said, bro, you pay for go watch the match like a fan. I come on as a fan. If me have a comment or anything like that, no, me make it. So at the end of the day, I don't want anybody to even consider to say, oh, me ask what me you want to ask at the press conference, what me you want to know for the coach concept. If whether it be something that is difficult, or whether it be something that some people don't consider difficult, because we don't have no, what they call it now, affiliations towards, or affinity towards the federation. Me not have no, like, me not
the coach have no respect for it. Okay, what no tell me. No respect. No respect for it. No respect for it.
We can give you a couple of instances.
Third world country, third world people, and our resource, and no respect for it. Okay, no one wants it.
The Bobby Reid thing when him say Bobby Reid, basically because I'm in wife, he must say that one. Him now gonna get to come, fine. Then him come back and say Bobby Reid injured. So I say, coach, okay, you're flipping and flopping right there. So then the coach come and say, a lot of the young players would rather play for England at this time and they can understand if they are waiting on England and Ray. Then we get young players that have been recruited. Then they're not really picking players then. So me I look at the coach, everything you say is the opposite. Everything you are saying, you come you're not seeing a tape on Ravel. Then miraculously Ravel in the team. Where did you get this tape on Ravel after the fact that they say, on a tape on him needs to be in a better league? All of them things that they bring him because he can unlock. He's one of those players that have the quality to unlock low block team. He'll not get a minute against BVI.
So, yeah. I mean, let me just say this, people, which is this. I bet if the YouTubers don't have the press conference, it'll be very obvious and we'll send a clear message. You guys may not believe that. When you go to the press conference, you get to look at one question and the man disrespect me. Because last time he go in disrespect me, so I go back. After I asked him, well, the same question was asked of Tuchel, and Tuchel answered the question for the British media and point out the example. The man tell me the same thing him do. Him just brush me off. Him can't brush me off again. Because him go another person can brush me off. I tell Simon, say, me nah take no check from you, Simon. I mean, I want disrespect Simon because I like Simon. I'm thinking Simon do a good job, but me not take no disrespect. I mean, I take no check either, so I not go back. I mean, I want disrespect nobody and say, boy, I'm cranky, I try to boot of himself. I not do that because I not like disrespect. If you disrespect me, I disrespect you back. When you tell me, when you tell me about the same thing Tuchel do you do? That's not answering my question. That's telling my question is nonsense. If you answer it. So why am I going to engage with you then? If you're too big to engage with me, then you know what? I shouldn't engage with you either.
Yeah, I don't know.
I get a new card, Cece. Let me have the card, Cece. Let me take the card.
All
right, Cece. Thanks for the card, Cece. Good evening. Good evening.
Yo, cranky.
Best up. What are you doing?
Yeah, man. Boy, cranky, I don't know. You know, say, I look at the situation and me I try. All right, me have to be positive, right? And me have to try and take the best out I see. Me just feel like, you see, we are going to just do enough, and reach at the World Cup. Because if you notice, every World Cup game we play so far, we win them by 1 goal. And Dominican Republic, when come to Jamaica, come with problem, then go home. We enter the nether round by top, and we might tap this one and go to the nether round. So, I don't know, me don't know about it, but I don't think the side of the play yesterday is a true reflection of the player.
So you think they play below their ability, then you're saying?
Say that again?
You think they play below their ability?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I just try and be positive and hopefully we can just do enough and reach the World Cup.
So you think we should be pleased with you said we should be positive. Should we please and just don't say anything about what transpired yesterday?
No, me not telling us say nothing, Continue the way you are doing, but me just have to try and that be realistic, cranky, it can make me very unhappy,
Yeah. No, but I understand. Look, we all take different approach to address situations, right? Some people will say, you know what? I'm going to bounce off my back. I'm not going to get perturbed. I have other things to do in life. Some people may be so emotionally tied in, they may not express it verbally, but it may be affecting how they operate. And some may be very verbose and expressive in what they want to say, and they want the world to know their perspective. Yours truly is one of those people. I am very frustrated about the direction of travel. I am very frustrated about this coach and him keep vacillating and saying things one day and then changing mind the next day. I don't realize what he said. I don't know what's happening. And then at the end of the day, we're not performing. Look, the concern that we have, at least I have, is this. If you have these inconsistent performances, it's going to come back to bite you at some point. Right? No matter what happens, you have good players, you can come back to bite you. And my hope is that doesn't happen. We all have so much invested in going to this next World Cup. So much invested in going to the next World Cup. It has never been better situated where we have a possible 8 teams from CONCACAF have a chance to go to the next World Cup. The 3 automatic, the 3 from these 3 groups, and then 2 gonna play an Oceania side or Asia and Oceania side, right? It's set up that way. We don't want to be in the 2 team trying to play some Asian Oceania side to try to get there. Based on the rank in the region, if things fall up based on ranking, we should be the 3rd team getting there. The Hades, the El Salvador, the Honduras, they're all saying, hell no, that's not happening. We want that slot. But we know if we play up to our ability and we have the reinforcements we're going to get, that we should be getting there. My concern is, do we have the right leader to get us to the promised land? I'm going to call it the promised land, because we ain't been there in 27, 28 years. Do we have the right leader?
I see your concern, and I definitely share your sentiments, but Frankie, me can't imagine us not making it. So me just formulate something in my mind and just say, you know what, we are going to do enough, and then by November we know the World Cup.
I hope you're right. I think it's after November, but I hope you're right, sir.
Yeah, man. Respect and enjoy the rest of your weekend, yeah?
Yeah, we do. Thanks for the call. All right, people. I don't want to bore into death now. Let me just say a couple of things. Help is on the way. Me enough I know I talk about say we need to gel and we need to have a settled team. So let me count. Let me see if we get this right. I'm going to go back last thing. The Motherfield thing is not acceptable. The Motherfield thing and Motherfield decision is not acceptable. It's unfair. It's unjust. It's probably even, if I go stretch, unethical. It's not okay. And we shouldn't think it's okay. And if I'm the kid in the situation that he is, I'll be losing my goddamn mind. And you know what's really funny? None of those British kids, none, and I call them all kids because they are younger than me, none of them, except maybe Ravel once in a while, come on and say something, or Antonio, because they're seasoned, talk about some of the things that they experience when they come to Jamaica. Some of them will talk after they retire and they're not playing anymore. But most of those kids, call the kids them, because Antonio them and them keep their mouth shut. Them come, no matter what adverse situation is, no matter what them encounter, no matter what the fans disrespect them, them come play them football and go back to them here. Right? Them not disrespect nobody. There are people who are born locally who, some of them actually are a little bit different about how they approach it. Now they are trying to be disrespectful, some have been, and they can get away with it. Because the kids know how that works. There's a double standard that they have to deal with. Double standard. Unfair standard that they have to uphold because they know where they are. So they move them corner. It's unfair to those kids. But when you're a mother still, and you want to play for Jamaica, you're 21 years old. You have a bright future in front of you. You have 21 goal contribution or 20 goal contribution, 21 goal contribution in 40-something games, better than the people, Tyrese, who I like quite a bit, Dixon, who I like. Your stats are truly better. And you're not giving that look you should be getting. So what are you supposed to think? And all you guys do is think about yourselves and the local players. You don't think about those kids. They don't matter to you. Because they don't have a soul, they don't have a life, they don't have anything. They don't care. You don't care about them. Those of you in position in Jamaica making decisions, you don't give a F about those kids. You don't. All you care about is you get money in your pocket, or you want to pick the players who your constituent won the team. Those kids don't have any feelings. So you don't care about them. They don't matter. But you know what? I care about those kids. I want those kids to maximize their potential. I want those kids to be treated fairly. Because I believe that in every human being, that's how we should be. Treat people fairly. Yeah. But let me just say this, people. Help is on the way. Let me count for me how much more people are coming. Let me count for me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1 is a if. And most of them have EPL experience. Let me say that again. But 4 or 5 of them should be here in the next 2 windows. Well, I should say next window, because next window, a second round. So I'm not afraid of nobody. Because I believe this is about players and about no coach. I get 4, possibly 5 to an extreme. Look at it, 5 are coming in the next window. And they all have EPL experience. So we may have almost an EPL team on the field. Now, if them can't produce, and by the way, the coach can do what I do now. Because when you're League One, them can fight you, you know. When you're League Two, they are League Two, League One, our chapter, we can fight you, you know. They can't fight EPL players, because nobody not buy the nonsense. You can't play JPL players or EPL players. Nobody not buy the nonsense. You hear me, I say? You can't even explain it to the reporter in Jamaica. You can't even explain it to the administration. I can't say what position them play people. I just go to some number and just hold on that. Can't tell you no. I don't even know some of the people what position them play. I just know say people are coming. May I say? And let me say something, people, because pressure for this. Some people in this space can't talk freely because they're conflicted. In fact, everywhere want to be conflicted. Some people are more conflicted than others, right? And they can't talk freely. But that's life. My philosophy in life is that you shouldn't do anything to harm yourself or harm your career or harm your situation. That'd not be smart. I am fortunate enough to say, at this point in my life, I'm just speaking truth to power. And I hope people accept what it is, which is it's with good intention. But I want people to understand that I am one of those individuals who believe, who burn out unfairness. They burn out mediocrity. Me a burn out selfishness. Me a burn out unpatriotism. Me a burn out people who all them want to do is when them say eat a food and I think about other people them are hurt, feed them food. Me a burn out people who come on the channel and I'm kind of criticize, and then I add no value to nothing. Then I come up with something of value to suggest, okay, Cranky said this, or Owen said this, or CC said this. Here's my perspective, and it's logical and it makes sense. If you're not add value, why are you here? Somebody asks you, why are you here? Always try to add value in life, whether in your personal life, professional life, add value. That's how you differentiate yourself. So this coach to me, I asked the president of the technical committee, the chairman, when he was selecting his coach, I was advocating for a Spain coach, And the reason why I advocated for a Spain coach because I want a very sustainable program in place where we get somebody who is going to help us change our football, a paradigm shift. A shift so dramatic when you talk about everybody that comes through the process, he oversee the football, he's both coach and almost like technical director. He must make sure that even though we have limited resources, that the football change. Right? That has not occurred. We are where we are. And we're not making the progress we need to make. And when we complain about some players being in the team versus others, all we hear is that we're anti-JPL. I would love for those JPL players to develop the pedigree and the ability to do well in football and generate the resources that them and their family deserve. But if the administration and the coaches are not at the level they need to be to allow the players to be able to do so, then we're going to be here 20 years from now saying the same thing, going through the same process, being frustrated. When I look at this Spain strategic plan that they have for their football next 5 to 10 years, you sit and you realize that there are people out there who are in positions of power in administration, who have vision and strategy, and who, when they execute against it, they're hard to beat. They may have lost on penalty today, but they're dominating world football in a lot of respects. When you get to all these finals, and now you can lose on this penalty, you win Women's World Cup, you win Olympics, semi-final, final, you win Euros, you win the World Cup, and you have the best coaches, in the best leagues. You realize that it's a holistic approach that's been undertaken by a country that allows them to excel. They pick a coach from their junior league, big name coach, they help them win the Euro because they have a system, they have process, they have procedures, and they execute well. We don't realize, and I've said this numerous times, that the people who are in certain powers, certain situations, who are reluctant to enable change to occur, and so we can get better, they don't realize that they are part of the problem. They believe they're part of the solution. And that's sad, and it gets boring. So what's today's date? Today is June 8th. And I think Jason Guna said to me, I said if I don't get 3,000 subscribers by June 15th, I'm going to spend much less time doing Reggae Boyz football, maybe no time. And he said, Cranky, you are playing this reverse psychology. You want to force people to subscribe to you so you can get that. So we have what? About 7 more days remaining. Jason Guna, we'll see if Cranky just like run off his mouth, or do we stick to his word about it? Because I may love the football, but I don't like to waste time. So my view on life is this, is that if you're doing something and you're not making the progress that you think you should be making, or you're not good enough to make the progress, then you need to pivot. Why beat your head against a wall? So I may pivot in 7 days. I don't want no grief from anyone about this. I may have to pivot. I'm not even asking you guys to subscribe. You want to subscribe? It's your prerogative. You don't want to subscribe? You don't subscribe. I have 7 more days to probably do this. And I'm not beating people because I'm closing out doing this. I'm just saying that in anything that you're doing, if it's not working out for you the way you think it should be working out, then do something else. Try something else. Maybe you have other skill sets that may help you. I'm still going to do YouTube, but it's frustrating doing YouTube in this space in a lot of respects, because the people you're trying to influence and the person you're trying to influence, they don't want to be influenced. And so maybe your message is landing in the wrong place. But to all the YouTubers, as I've said before, I hope the YouTubers form a union, not your traditional union people. I hope you form like a group of YouTubers where you can get together and you share ideas, you talk amongst each other, you try to influence. Because what you're doing now, when you're being disrespected and you don't have a way of responding to that disrespect, is not a good thing. So I'm gonna sign up. Kishan, Kaba Kishan, I'm gonna sign up by saying this. Look, I have 6 more days, probably 7 more days to do this, because I don't think I'm gonna get to 3,000. Maybe I set an unrealistic goal on purpose so I can get out of this space. But it's frustrating. Hey, Kishan, how you doing? Last call for the evening. I sign up.
This is not football related, right?
Yeah.
I'm not meeting for this publicly, right? This YouTube thing, right? Where the subscriber thing. I said it before, Frankie. You have to. You talk about maximizing your potential, right?
Yeah.
So if you're playing a game of football, for example, and you create a ton of chances, but you fail to finish, you're not going to get the outcome sometimes in terms of that win. So with this growth thing on YouTube, I think for even an individual like you to be happy in terms of the subscribers, etc., you have to post pre-recorded videos. You know what I'm saying?
No, I know, but I've been doing this since last March.
But listen, in a sense, you're absolutely.
I have posted over 300 videos already. I get like 10 subscriber videos. That ain't working for me. I'm like happy I ain't got to do this anymore. I'm gonna be honest. I feel happy. I'm not gonna be doing this anymore.
You're saying you're going to be happy if you don't have to do it in the next 6 days.
I think I am gonna be happy. Yes. Now I'm gonna be doing YouTube, but I ain't gonna be doing this.
If that's the case, then you're not listening further.
All right. I appreciate the call, sir. I don't see a potential. I don't like being disrespected. Not about the subscriber. I'm talking about like the coach. So to go to press conferences and ask questions and feel like, you know what, I've been disrespected. Or you go to press conference and ask questions and not get answered. Or you go to press conference, you only have one question. After a while, I just say, you know what, but I'm gonna say what I'm thinking in my mind. But I'm not having it. I'm not having it.
But you know, we have a lot of football to play and stuff. So hopefully you'll be around here.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate the person. I love talking. You know, me and you get along, even though we had our differences. But you know, me know say you're out on the right place. You know what I'm saying? Me know you're out on the right place.
We talk about traditional media and new media in terms of some of the worst questions that we've ever heard.
Right.
That Andrea Blake question for me takes the cake in terms of the worst question I've probably.
Which one?
Huh?
Which question?
The Andrea Blake.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, that's the worst one.
when people are beating YouTubers about these questions, and look, we don't always ask the best questions, right? We don't understand how that is. And it's not a competition about questions. But you want to ask questions which, you know, I said to myself, you know what? Oh, that's a good question. Let me hear the answer for this, right? You watch a football, questions surround the football, whether it's about players, whether it's about strategy, whether it's about a number of different things, right? And when you hear so many questions asked, it's like, why are you allowing the person, I don't know, why are you giving them platform when they're not adding any value?
Well, you know, you talk about making coaches uncomfortable sometimes in press conferences, right? I remember when Ten Hag was at United, and you know, as a journalist or whatever the case is, or somebody who analyzes the game, you are kind of see the same thing as a coach to an extent. And there was an incident where this journalist had went to the post-match press conference, and he asked Eric Ten Hag about his midfield, and he said something about, you know, there's always this like gaping hole in the midfield, you know, why don't we fix it? And you know, I think Ten Hag replied like, oh, you think so? And he even went on further to ask the journalist to like explain himself, right? And to me, that was the first time I've seen a journalist like literally, you know, really dig into a manager and tell him the absolute truth about what is wrong with his team. You know what I'm saying? I've never seen that before, where like a journalist kind of takes on a manager in a sense, right? So even in like McClaren's case, I'm not saying, you know, you go there going to blazing, but okay, you as a journalist make an assessment of the game, you realize that okay, the midfield was a problem. You know, you can't simply just went to the press conference and say, listen, you know, coach, you're not the player like rapid marks, you know, every time you're at a press conference, but yet still, you know, we have not seen our rapid marks. Why is that the case? I think that's a good question in a sense, you know.
So here's a question, people. Why do you believe that you have to come and tell us that you have this balance between JPL and regular players? Aren't they all citizens? Shouldn't you just pick the best players on your team? Why do you care if they're from JPL or from or their heritage players? Why just pick the best players for your team that fits your strategy and allow you to win? Why? Why is that important? Why do you have to massage feelings? So the 22 players are best in JPL. Why just pick them? Why have to massage the feelings of diaspora? That means diaspora is not good enough, and vice versa. Why don't you just do? Why you keep saying every game I have this much JPL players? Who have you been talking to? Is that a sentiment? Is Simon educating you about this, and you should be cognizant of this? Why?
Yeah, but in a sense, I think it's just like appeasing the people in a sense, you know?
Yeah.
But it is what it is, yeah.
All right, Presser. Thanks. Yeah. Take the call. All right. Call him a running. Good afternoon. Good evening.
Good evening.
Who am I speaking to?
This is Lansley Blake.
Lansley Blake. You know, so we're almost by the end of it, and 3 more callers come in. So I know you're long, Lansley. But so we have to say Lansley. Yeah, I will check you know. Let me check you and Andre. Kind of like beat me about time. But go ahead.
I called you earlier and you didn't take my call?
Because I was on another call.
No, you weren't on the call when I called.
Oh no, I was talking about something. I said to hold up until I finish that. In fact, you and Dub call, and I said I'm talking about something. Let me finish first. But go ahead.
I am going to agree with the position you have taken for this show, but I'm going to beat you at the same time.
Okay. I mean, McClaren, I punch back. I answer. We are confusing answer. Answer.
I'm not a sandbag that is swung toward you so you can punch back. When I punch out.
So you're not me out. You're not me out. All right, knock me out. All right, knock me out.
When I spoke to the quality of the coach based on his CV and the job that the coach was called in to do, and the continued insistent, persistent invasion of the coach's purview by the JFF administration or the JFF bigwigs. It was you and Jason that spoke against what I was saying from the very first press conference or the second press conference. But this is now bearing fruit. Because this is what I was talking about. There is no rationale. The CV of McClaren, the years of experience of McClaren, does not match up to the decisions that McClaren has made since he has taken the reins of the Jamaica football program. They are like light years apart. And this one thing has remained the common denominator from the very inception is that the JFF, led by Mr. Ricketts, is the whole of what happens as it relates to the selection of players. They determine who gets selected and who gets played. I hear all of you talking about a quota system. This is not a quota system. This is a JFF, preferred player core. McClaren took over. K-Roy Anderson was in the midfield. K-Roy Anderson plays all three positions in the midfield. K-Roy Anderson also plays the position that Ty Dixon plays. And I'm going to call names in my call as I have started with you. And
Pastor, you only have 5 more minutes in the pastor.
Yeah, no, I don't want it all in 5 minutes if you don't stop. If you stop it around. For people like Travis Perso, this is never about the JPL players. This is only about the players that the JFF administration feels that they need to push forward now. They don't business with no JPL. They are only concerned about the players that they want to push forward now. To hell with the image of Jamaica, of brand Jamaica. To hell with the fans of football in Jamaica. To hell with what normal, acceptable standards are in terms of football management and practices. They don't give a damn. If you look at the selection of the teams for the competitions we have for the rest of this year, 60-man pool without Ronald Morrison is rubbish. 1. 2, your excuse for not selecting Boza is that he stopped playing April 19th. Okay. So all the other players that you have who stopped playing before Ravel Morrison, before Boza, how are they in the squad? To use a Jamaican butchering term, it is the same knife that sticks sheep. No, they don't butcher by sticking a sheep, they slit the throat. It's the same knife that sticks sheep, stick goat. So if this reason or excuse is good or should serve for Boza, it should serve for every other player. If Ravel Morrison is playing in such a low league that he is not going to be selected, then Kyle Dixon is not supposed to be selected. Because the league Kyle Dixon plays in is not higher than the league Ravel Morrison plays in. I'm going to take a liberty with the so-called mainstream media in Jamaica. When you publicly tell lies, I want you to know, Jamaica mainstream media, that there are those of us who listen. We don't just hear things, we listen. So when you try to sell Kaheem Dixon, and I hope Kaheem don't take this as an indictment on him. When you try to sell Kaheem Dixon, that Kaheem Dixon is teammate with Tyrese Campbell, you're a liar. Tyrese Campbell's teammate is K-Roy Anderson. Both of them played and ensured that their club was promoted to the
next level.
But Dixon was on the bench for 3 games. Dixon was on the bench for 3 games. His teammate.
Sir, Dixon was brought on the bench when players were injured. And he didn't stay on the bench, meaning he's not a part of that team. He's not a part of that team. He's a part of the U21s.
Right.
And that is the fact. We can't argue around these things, Cranky.
Well, here's what I can do. I did a bit this comparison. Maybe that's my fault, but I don't want to focus on Dixon. I want to focus. Yeah, I want to focus because it's unfair to Dixon to get so much notoriety, but the comparison has to be made given where he plays and where other people like him play. I think Dixon has a lot of potential, but we're forcing him into the team. I don't think it's fair to the kid, I don't think it's fair to the kid.
Cranky, this is what I'm saying. The federation is using players like Dixon to serve their own purpose. They're literally shafting Dixon because everybody in the football spectrum sees that Charlton plays Keroy Anderson in Dixon's position over playing Dixon, but Keroy Anderson cannot make the Jamaica squad.
Yeah, look, I don't stress about Keroy as much because he's on the bench for Charlton. If Tyrese was being benched for Dixon, which he was yesterday, by the way, and he starts almost every game and Dixon plays.
Cranky.
Yeah.
Cranky. Dixon played in the final game that promoted Charlton.
But I'm saying he's on the bench a lot of times, right? He's on the bench a lot of times.
It doesn't matter if this is what I'm saying. It doesn't matter if he's on the bench. He's a part of the team. But mainstream media literally did not mention Keroy Anderson. They said nothing about Keroy Anderson as a reggae boy or as Tyrese.
The Jamaica mainstream media don't give a damn about diaspora players. Let's be fair on that. Apart from they talk about Greenwood because Greenwood may come, they don't care about diaspora players.
Any player. They don't give a damn about any player other than the players that the GFF are profiling.
Yeah.
They don't give a damn about any player other than the GFF are profiling. And that has become crystal clear. This is like a clean pool or glass of water. When you go to play against BVI, all the players that are being introduced into the program are staged on the bench. How does that make sense when you're playing the weakest team? Isn't the weakest team the best opportunity to bring them in, to get them socialized and acclimatized with their teammates so that when they go up against the big guys, everything is already synchronized?
Yeah, no, I would suggest that maybe the approach they want to take so they can. And you talk about how difficult CONCACAF is. How are you going to get them acclimated to CONCACAF in the Gold Cup versus supposedly a lesser team where they can go show their wares because you almost guaranteed victory, even though you made it look difficult than it should have been, more difficult.
The thing is, it is clear to me they're not protecting the diaspora players from anything. They're literally saying to us, this is what we're doing. What can you do about it? Shut up and watch us do what we do, whether you like it or not. That don't sell tickets.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say it like you said it. I'm not suggesting or supporting any boycott of any Jamaican team. The players did not pick themselves. So if we boycott it, we are literally doing the players more harm than we're going to affect or effect.
Yeah, whoever they pick, we should support them when they're playing. Whoever they pick, we support them when they're playing. Doesn't mean we agree with the selection.
We don't have to agree with the selection,
right,
but they will need our support.
Yes.
So let me make that statement categorically. One more thing before I go.
You're at 8 minutes and 1 second, but keep going.
One more thing before I go. You made the statement that there are persons in the hierarchy, in the decision-making positions, that have become blockades in the whole scheme of transition and improvement. but they see themselves as not a part of the problem. Cranky, they don't care about what the image is, as long as they get paid. And I am not apologizing for saying it that way.
The comments made by Pastor, those of Pastor Longsley, and not the comments and perspective and maybe opinion of the host of the Cranky Live show, Cranky, because you don't want nobody to sue him, because when people sue you, it costs money for lawyer. We're not afraid to get sued, but we don't want to spend money on things that we don't have to spend money on. So those the Cranky, and that's Longsley, who has the resources to defend himself in the court of law, like other people are doing currently. But Cranky doesn't want to get sued because, as Cranky learned, just entertaining someone on your platform can get you sued. Even though we want somebody to sue me. But keep going.
They don't care about the image as long as they get paid. I'm going to finish.
No, I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna say that. Actually, I'm gonna stop you right here. It's not always a money thing. I think I had a discussion with somebody once, and the focus is this: the stakeholders in Jamaica that help support and elect the JFF. The JFF, from my understanding, has to adhere to their supporters, their stakeholders' desires, and therefore will do what they want.
Only in monetary value.
Yeah, I don't know what value. Yeah.
It's not only money you get paid back. It's not only money you get paid back.
Yeah, that's true.
Let me ask you a question. What's the common denominator in all three of our last coaching regimes?
The content is that the people who get fired did a good performed.
No, not that one. Not that one. In personnel, what is the common denominator in personnel?
For the last three?
For the last three.
For what? Reggae Boyz team?
Yeah.
Coming to me on it. We had Hogginson, we had McClaren, and then we had Paul Hall. They don't common. They're all from Europe. I don't see another common denominator.
You don't see the common denominator? I will show you the common denominator. The person that was placed there to hold the space or to learn, understudy.
What do you mean?
There is the person that was placed in.
So but it's not the coach themselves. It is the support for the coach, the assistant coach.
Yes.
Not the head coach. I thought you were talking about the head coach.
So no, I'm saying the common denominator.
Yes. Someone understands it. Yeah. But I mean, there are organizations and federations will want to have their own people around. Now you need to have somebody who's going to come back to you with information. I guess I know what you're inferring, but yeah.
Here's one thing I will tell you. The same way that person has been privileged to learn from everybody, because that is what was given to us, that he's there to learn. He's there on the study. The only thing Steve McClaren has learned in his time since he have been here, and I end on this, is how the JFF operates.
Yeah, well, he was warned by Hogginson, so he shouldn't be surprised.
He hasn't learned anything as to how to improve our footballing pedigree. He hasn't learned anything that has given us any positive turns. Nothing at all. Leader and squad selection, game management, tactics, nothing. All he has learned, I am sure he now learns. Like I heard when the president made his statement in the first interview, you and Jason. So no, that's not what it means. But sit here now.
All right, never leave it at that.
You're holding on to the tail. Have a good evening.
Yeah, man. Thanks. And Lux Life so fun. You never hear me say Dixon at the start. I said CFAS and any 10, and then I said CFAS 4 more and any 6. You never hear me say Dixon at the start. Diego, you're the last caller. Where's Diego?
Yes, Cranky, you there?
I am here, Diego. Where's it?
You man, listen to your show, man. That's why I'm going to tell you a specific question and a couple questions for you. The first thing, though, you say that enjoy it. Are you saying that you're not going to have you plan to discontinue your channel, the football channel?
No, I said I plan to do a couple things. I plan to boycott JFF press conferences. And if I don't get 3,000 subscribers by June 15th, I will not do frequent JFF football or Reggae Boyz football. It'd be extremely infrequent, maybe not at all.
Okay. No, I understand. So when you originally started, you were looking for 3,000, and if you don't get it.
By June 15th, yeah, I have a cutoff date. Jason Guna think I was trying to influence people by reverse psychology. Jason don't realize that some people have certain standards and ethics which they live by. We're not trying to trick people. We're not trying to trick people. Yeah. No, I understand. I understand what you're saying. You just want clarity about what I'm saying. Yeah.
You go, Jesus. So the next question, though, because you were asking some questions about Madison.
Yes.
Which are excellent questions, but based on what you're telling me now, that we can't answer, these questions will never be answered.
Yeah. I mean, the coach says one thing today and another thing tomorrow, and they contradict each other, and it's frustrating.
Remember, say no. Them can't ask the question for you. So once you have boycotted it, this is a question we never get answered, because I would love to hear the coach answer it, but you never ask.
Well, no, other people can ask it now, because the other YouTubers going to the conference. I'm not going back to the press conferences. I don't like to be disrespected. I've said it before. People pressure me to go again. Then I go out here, we've gone from 2 questions to 1 question. I'm like, I'm wasting my time. And when I ask a question, if you don't answer it, I can't follow up. It's a waste of time.
You're saying that's what he does to everyone, so it doesn't make no sense.
Exactly. A waste of time. Then they send him to Sportsmax to sit down, and they get to ask for an hour and talk, and everybody smile and happy, and get to ask their question. They get a follow-up question. They can challenge him. We get none of that. We as YouTubers are deemed to be garbage, basically. And I hear that people in TVJ don't like us, despise YouTubers. I was told that by a good source. They despise us. And they're so brilliant, because they said the coach said players were brilliant. And when you hear the coach talk about the players, he said, if you got them, they don't get trained from age 7, they don't get technical and training. So, the brilliant TVJ, with all their insights and perspective, believe that we are garbage. In my view, that's how they view, because they don't like us. So they must think that we don't belong in this platform. Even though I think YouTubers have shown that you don't have to go to journalism school to do a good job, frankly.
No, man. YouTubers are not journalists. YouTubers are personalities. They are only a personality. So,
yeah.
My journalistic school, there's no requirement to be journalistic school.
Yeah. But the point I'm trying to make is that I think we got to respect each other, right? So you may have gone through formal training to be a designation, a certain discipline, and that's fine. You've gone through it. You should get the respect you deserve. And the YouTubers who are trying to do something should also get respect, because when I see you in certain forum, I see them, I walk away thinking that they're the journalists and not you.
But the YouTubers are selling controversy and information. You don't need journalistic degree at you to do that. Doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
The next thing, though, because I hear some of your comments before.
Yeah.
They got to understand, we don't have the players to play the attractive football they want to see. When are they going to? The 1918 didn't play attractive football. You have to have the players to play that type of football.
Let me say this. Let me say this. One. Wait. Let me say this. One. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're gonna have attractive football at some point. We're gonna have attractive football. I'm saying by September, I expect the football to be better, regardless of the coach. Not because of the coach, because of the coach.
You shouldn't get to that, though. So I'm sure you followed that TV. Were you at the Washington game?
Of course, best event I've ever been to in my life. Washington game. Oh my God, Diego, you missed something. Turnpike full up, Diego, Turnpike full up. Okay.
We never
see attractive football, we're going to complete it. We're winning. We're moving.
Yeah.
We're going to the promised land. So the next question to you now, finally. Like I always tell them, I'd love to see them come back and play the triangle offense and the motion golden thing offense. We don't have the players to do it. So
No, Diego. We don't have the coach with the know-how to. Don't go with the next Diego, okay? You'll get me upset, but Timbo don't get fired. And get fired. We don't him get fired, which is a good thing, so we move on. Tell me what's about. Yeah.
So we go to this coach now. Now they go to the coach now.
Yeah.
No. From day one, we all have our criticism. But if I'm criticizing the coach that they shouldn't have been behind him, right?
Yes. I've said we should have a Spanish coach.
You don't like the English coach.
No, it's not. No, but now you know English coach. Which people? We don't. The English now hire English coach. We are talking about.
Right. No, man. They understand this, man.
Diego. We hire English coach for your national team, and the English hire German. Look at they are German for the national team.
You make the point clear.
Yeah.
My question to you now is, because there's only 6 more games,
Too late to fire him. Now fire a coach.
So my question to you now, it's too late to fire him. But is there anything you see, coach, that's been good?
In terms of
I think you can't consider
nothing.
No.
No, the results are in spite of him, not because of him. Diego. I went to the game in St. Louis, Diego. And I'm sitting in a bunch of US fans, right? And I'm watching the game. I'm trying to dissect the game. And I saw Robinson, Diego. I said it's a numerous time, running wild all game, Diego. The coach, no time during that game, they say, you know what? I got to change my strategy because everything is flowing through Robinson. They're dominating the game. You said dominating the game all over. But the Robinson thing was a key factor. The coach made no change. He didn't make, not personally, no, in terms of strategy. He didn't say, you know what, Maggie, forget about trying to play football. Go mark Robinson, take him out of the game. And play inverted and a kill with. I watch him, he made no in-game change. And that's regular in games. Apart from changing personnel, which is one aspect of in-game management, the other things you can do, you reposition players. You do different things. You know what? Let's press more. The man is dinosaur. Coach, dinosaur.
I just want to make sure you're not saying firing the coach.
No.
So here's the question to you now.
Yeah.
Where we are now, going into the World Cup is the highest seed we could be given no matter who was the coach in the car. We're the top 3 seed now in the final round.
Right.
We're the top 3 seed in the final round, you know?
Yeah. Despite the coach.
No, you can say despite the coach. I'm just saying to you now. If
Right.
you're looking at results, he has been a success. Despite him or whether you have to say that we're really this is a successful position. Yes or no?
Yeah. Look. We're gonna get better players and we're gonna be okay.
Okay.
We're gonna get better players and we're gonna be okay. We're gonna get better players and we're gonna be okay.
So you're confident of us qualifying to the World Cup then?
Based on what I hear and the players we're getting, yes, because I've always believed that international football is about the players, not about the coaches.
All right, Puppy.
Right? I've always believed international football is about the players, not the coaches. And if we get the players I'm hearing that we're getting, then we should be okay.
Go, man.
Yeah.
I just want to be clear.
Yeah.
Because where we are now, if you told us we'd be starting at the World Cup campaign, all of us would be up in the top 3 seed in the final round, and we don't have to play Costa Rica or Panama.
Well, that was what we want to avoid. I think even with Costa Rica and Panama, if we get the players, we are not fearing nobody. No, I'm not fearing anybody outside the top 3. Let me put it that way.
So okay, I can see you don't want to discuss the players. We wait and see.
Yeah. We have to wait and see.
Sir.
Yeah, man. Appreciate that, Diego. All right, people. Let me say this about Bert sorry about that, Bert, but my system, I left my system in New York, the main system. I have 2 systems. I brought my system. See that, Bert? Zoom. When I put it on today, it wasn't working. And then I forgot the piece that connected calls directly. So I apologize for that. I have to put the phones at my ears, but I didn't have a choice. My system wasn't working. Plus, there's a piece that you need to use to connect the phones directly, and that was working either. So I have to spend some time today or tomorrow going through to make sure it works. Because I'm gonna do programs about until June 15th before I curtail what I'm doing. And then secondly, Jason, you're the last call, Jason.
Yo, Cranky, what going?
Not much. What you say, man?
I'm there taking in the show.
Yeah.
Some people in the chat.
Yeah.
So Cranky, so you're gonna watch your subscribers. You know, I hear you said that you're serious about it, and that's great. That's fine. But I have you say you kind of don't like to get disrespected in the press conferences, right?
Yeah.
I have a theory as to why that's happening. So when Simon calls on you in the press conference, I have not heard him address you as your YouTube moniker. I hear him say, maybe Cranky showed up. You wouldn't get disrespected. I don't know.
No, that's not it. He knows it's me. Some people like to do that, right? It's not even alone. Everyone from England does that. But let me just say this. It's not even about disrespect, you know. My view is in life, you're doing something, Jason, it has to make sense, right? And if you're asking questions and they're not being answered, then why are you wasting your time?
Well, for me, I think it's a good exercise in that, regardless of if he answers my question or not, I think his not answering is also something that can have an effect. In other words, if every time a pointed question is asked, he either doesn't go on to answer it or struggles to answer it effectively, that should inform the public as to the state of the coach, the mindset of the coach.
All right.
So while I would rather hear an answer, that's definitely why you asked the question. I think it informs the public, you know, where his headspace is. He's not able to answer those.
Or misinform the public. One of the
whatever it is, but I'm just saying it's, you know, okay, as you said, we'll make there'll be the silence will be deafening. YouTubers say we're not going, right? I agree with you, because you know it would last much shorter, because I mean if 12 questions are asked, I would say eight of them are YouTubers probably.
Yeah. And 7 of them are substance versus 1 of the 4 asked by regular media.
Right.
It's a fact.
So as much as I agree with you that, you know, traditional media don't really respect what YouTube brings, I think that the more important thing is, I believe that the public who consume the press conferences, you know, they appreciate it. So if we were to boycott it, I think that it would be very, very noticeable for sure. But again, I think that the reason why I would keep going is because I just don't trust others to ask the questions that I would want asked. You know, so
yeah, no, it might be on this. I
will want that to be mine.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, my view is this. I'm not saying people should permanently boycott press conference. I'm saying at some point you got to make a stand. You got to demand your respect. You can't, someone not giving it to you, you got to say, you know what? I'm demanding that respect. If YouTubers don't turn up for the press conference, do you realize less people turn up for the women's press conference and they struggle to get in questions? They struggle to get enough questions asked. You don't realize that?
Yeah, he's never stopped me from asking more than one enough girl.
Exactly. So you know what? If YouTubers say, you know what, we ain't turning up. Yeah. I'm not beating Simon, and I'm just saying in general. Yeah.
The whole point about that is like, I mean, if the room has, you know, I don't know, 30-something people in it, right?
Yeah.
And I would say at least half of them are raising their hands, because I've heard people come up and say, yo, my hand was raised, I never get a chance. So
yeah.
I don't really take it as a form of disrespect if I only get one. Plus, you know, I can reach out if you really wanted to crank it. I'm sure Steve McClaren will come on your show.
No. They're not coming on our shows. Nope. Know that for a fact. Hey, Jason, there's a lot of things I know that I don't talk about it, Jason. A lot of things I hear and know that I don't talk about it. Nope, not coming on our show. Not happening. I know that for a fact.
That's
Fact. Not guessing, fact. No, not coming. No. It's up to him alone. He's not coming on the show. Man, I'm not even being a JFF for that. I'm being a JFF for players and giving availability to YouTubers because I have said this before. I don't care anybody vex with me. Some people can get access to YouTube players. We can't get access. You and I can't get access. Some people getting access to, which I don't think is fair either. So I'm gonna call out everybody. So maybe I'm burning all my bridges. Maybe when you finish doing something, you can burn the bridges. I just put on the mic and leave.
So that means in these final days of cranky as we know it, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna get some rotted news then.
No, we're doing cranky live now, but we're doing cranky now, but we ain't doing football. We're gonna do our stuff that we normally do and much more of those things. We're gonna talk about my favorite person, Trump. We're gonna talk about Musk. We're gonna talk about immigration. We're gonna bring on lawyers. We're gonna bring on judges. We're gonna do some of that. We're just not gonna spend enough time on football because we have other things in life to do. So if I get the 3,000, me nah beat up my head and me nah beat up my gum. And so move forward. Let me see.
Well, look, as somebody with a perspective that I think is pretty unique in the space, my hope is that the people them subscribe because it's definitely, I think it would be a loss because I think you bring a different perspective. So, and I happen to be of the mind that the more perspectives out there, the better. People can take the information, do with it what they want, do their own research. But at the end of the day, I feel like when people leave your program, there's probably something that they're going to go and check further or dig deeper into. And I think that is the main thing. You know, whatever your thing is, you know, I like to focus more on the analytics of the football and all these things, the movements on the pitch. Some people look into what's going on behind the scenes at JFF, and some do it all. Whatever you do, I think you can add value as long as you care. And it's clear that you care. So
of course. I mean, hey, Jason, most YouTubers, I'm saying all YouTubers, them drink the football, not Jason. It's like an alcoholic. We are alcoholics, you know. We drink the football. I want to stop. I went to beat me up. We still drink the football.
And that's why I say, and that's mainly why I say what I said. Like, you won't go anywhere because you can't be disinvested today, and there's just a switch that you flip.
No. But I've said this to Jason in life. I live my life with certain protocol and certain way I live.
You're gonna want to have your perspective out there. So
yeah, it doesn't mean I can't go on somebody's show and say hello, but it ain't gonna be my show. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time doing Reggae Boyz football. I'm just not. I'm serious. I'm not. You know what, Jason? I get beaten from people in my household. I say, why don't you do this topic? Why are you spending so much time doing it? Why you do more social stuff? You have all this information. Why you do this? And I'm like, because I love the football. And I love some of the people in the chat who I engage with. I may not love the football gurus of the world who give me a hard time, or the Paul Edwards who keep beating me up. But there are a lot of people in the chat who have been great to me. And people like Drew Russ and yourself and I will come to almost every show and then give me good feedback. I love it. Who wouldn't? Right? Who wouldn't? But at some point, you got to make some decisions. So, me know what people say, boy, you're cranky with the reverse psychology. Me not the reverse psychology thing. No, sir. No, sir. Me? No, sir. No, because from my school is that it's, you know, you say what you say, you do it, stick to your word. So if you see me on another Jeff, unless things change, let me just say this. With Jeff at press conference, me not go back. No, go back. Me I go get I may still go to games, you know. I will still go to games, you know. But me now put myself. I don't like to be disrespected. I don't like to be disrespected. I take it personal. No, do it.
So the disrespect that you're referring to is solely down to just how little access you're granted. Like if you
No. So here's disrespect. There are a couple of things. One is if you're saying we are all media, I don't think access is gonna be equitable, but at least we should get some access, right? Players, coaches, whatever. You can't just have your people who are insiders getting all the access and we don't get access. Second, if I come and I ask you a question, Jason, is that black? And you talk around in circles, I should be able to follow up and say, you know what? You didn't answer my question. You don't even ask the question. Did I answer your question? Most people would have, did I answer your question or do you want me to elaborate more? That doesn't happen. If I hear the traditional media talk about, hey, I'm looking money. I'm not going to make money going on. But then they might get interview when I get this. If I hear the traditional media call you vulture and them still get access, and me can't get access, then and you tell about me toxic, then they're not toxic too. But only we toxic because a lot of you guys are young, you know, me not young. And if we don't have the resources that they have, but we're toxic, then no, sir. No,
yeah,
sir.
but
way I see it, right? Because I'm in the same boat that you with access, right? Because I don't really know many. I don't have any way to get in on the inside, right? But the advantage that you and I have is that when we turn on this platform right here, nobody is pulling us in any direction, so we can think clearly. It's our thoughts, right? So some of those people that have that access granted to them, they can't sleep at night because what they say they don't believe most of the time.
Yeah, and look, I mean, when I had people on my show, like Ricketts come on, Chung come on quite a bit, I don't disrespect them when they come on my program, right? So you can't say we're toxic when we bring them on. We may ask them difficult questions, but we are being professional with them. When people come on your program and interview them, you're not being disrespectful to them, right? So why should we give them the same? Why don't we give them the same access when they've seen how we operate? When we interview people, we're just as professional as anybody else who's out there.
For sure. But I feel like there are probably some, because it's the way it is, and we get to turn the camera on and say whatever we want with no filter. There's the flip side to that, right? Everybody's as measured as you and I might sound on these YouTube streams, and that's just the way it is. So since we're in that realm, we're going to be, they're going to look at us in that way just because we're from that side of things.
Right.
Like I would rather they look at each person individually and say, "Oh, I've seen your content, and I know that it would be fine for me to go on your show because I'm not going to try to disrespect me or whatever the case is." But they're not going to do that. But still, I would rather have freedom to not have to. I can go on whenever I want, turn on the camera, say whatever I want, and I don't have to answer to anyone.
Yeah, but I mean, here's my view on that. Yeah.
Means I don't have access. So
Yeah.
if you're giving me a choice between the two, currently,
yeah,
I'm taking the first one. I'm sorry.
No, I understand. But look, I'm not gonna beat JFF. I'm not gonna beat Sam, beat anybody. I'm gonna say, if this doesn't work out, let's go do something else. Me not fussy about anything, you know. Me love the football. Me still go game. I still may go Dallas. I'll go someplace go watch game. Come on Jamaica, come watch game. But me not go. Me live my life by a certain creed. I'm not change it.
So will you get the game on Tuesday?
More than likely, yeah.
Nice.
More than likely, yeah.
So I can expect to hear you asking a question tomorrow morning.
No, not come to the press conference tomorrow. No. You know what? When I'm not doing a press conference, when I'm doing a press conference, I gym I work on my whole body. Keep telling me whole, so I forget the fit. So where the gym? Not on a press conference. No, not good. I will go to the game, but not going to press conference. Not happening.
I won't be able to ask a question because I'm not in Jamaica this time, so I needed a correspondent.
I'm not going. No, not happening. I applied for press pass. I was told the pass was approved, but I didn't get any feedback after that because maybe I don't know if they put it back. I don't really care. And I said to myself, you know what? I'm gonna buy my ticket like any other fan. I'm gonna go enjoy the game. I'm not gonna record nothing. The game is what, the 10th? 5 days after that. But I may do some stuff, but I'm not gonna go to press conference to go ask questions because I know what the answers are before I get the questions get asked.
You just have no faith in what you're gonna hear. So what's the point? Okay.
Exactly. But look, I'm gonna go cheer my team on to win. Now I'm beating a player, now cussing a player. Anybody going to feel me, I cheer them. I want them score. Whether I agree with their selection or not is irrelevant.
I will be there as an extension of my children who will get to see Jamaica play on the soil in the stadium for the first time in their lives. So
so they're going to the game?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I just reached out to some friends of mine who a friend of mine said, yeah, when will I play it? I mean, I laugh.
Yeah, but currently that's another thing. The last time I was in Jamaica and a game was playing, I was so shocked that I don't think it's the same. No, I think it's better since some of the marketing has got better, but it's still not good enough, as you said. Like people that you know are saying, "When is the game?" They don't know. And I remember the last time I was there, almost nobody that I spoke to knew that the game was going to happen.
Yeah.
So,
all right, Jason. Jason, I call Jason because a friend of mine I call ball from long time. Me just take it and me just close up the program. But me appreciate the call, Jason. And the sentiment. Thanks, Jason. Magic, what you say? Magic.
You have a show going?
Yeah. Me almost done though. You want to talk offline?
You know Litton, right? We used to go win game.
Yeah.
Okay. Nothing true with them amongst you over there at all. So cranky make you people them know say, oh, why you know could have cost some bad would have make them I want to tell them say, oh, hey brother, you don't know. Something like you must the sun must have warped your brain or something.
Yeah. What I say, but
It's not simple, my brother. You win against Trinidad and it's Nigeria. You start the same side I am.
Yeah. The coach is different. The coach is different. But look. Hopefully we do better on Tuesday.
A different side again in a country.
Of course, a different side. A much different side. Hopefully it's a better side and a better outcome.
Oh man.
Yeah, man.
But go on and finish your show, my brother. Respect. See you.
All right, bless up, Magic. Bless up. Thanks.
All right.
Yeah, people from my old football days, people. Magic name is reflective of his ability. Magic on the football field. All right, everyone. First of all, thanks for being here. Thanks for hitting the like button. For those who subscribe, thanks for subscribing. We are looking for I don't know if I'm going to do any more show before Tuesday. I may do one tomorrow, actually. We all looking for the game on Tuesday. We all hoping that we do better than we did against BVI. The BVI disappointment was real and concerning, but we have brought in some new blood. Let's hope those new players get an opportunity to at least get some game time and hope the team gels really well. As I said before, come September window, if everything works out well, we'll get some reinforcement and they'll be at the quality that we're looking for. If things work out well, which I expect. But I appreciate it. First of all, to all of you in the chat, the fact that I said the fact that I will discontinue doing a lot of this because of whatever rationale I provide has nothing to do with you and your support over the years. Or I should say over the last year plus. It's been a pleasure being here. It's a pleasure working with each of you. Most of you, apart from maybe 3 individuals I can think about, have been extremely difficult. But even they add something. I'm not sure if they value add, but they add something. But it's been great being here and being great in this forum. Doing this job as a YouTuber is not an easy job people think it is, right? I actually prefer to do live than video because video takes a ton of time if you want to do it right. Live, at least you have the chat interaction, people interaction, and it allows you to have a little more latitude in terms of how you engage versus when you're doing a video, you have to have a lot of pictures, you're trying to do videos, and you have to cut it right. You can make mistakes and do things in live, like a live play, and get away with it, right? So you try to be perfect in your videos as much as you can. So I appreciate you being here. Thanks for all the support. And I'll see you when I see you. Peace out. And if you're in Jamaica, please go to the game and enjoy the game. And if you're not in Jamaica, support the I don't know if JFF Live is showing the game, but at least YouTube will show it. It's a CONCACAF World Cup game. Peace out, everyone, and thanks. Cranky Life is the best to be now. For the best sports talk, and it's free, yo. Cranky Life will be your guiding light by keeping you informed both day and night. Cranky Life. Tell them, cranky life, heed them, cranky life, want them, cranky life. From the courts to the field, we'll never lose because cranky has the hottest news. With expert analysis, we break it down. Our in-depth coverage is best in town. Cranky life, tell them, cranky life, heed them, cranky life, want them, cranky life. Cranky Life, where the sports is spicy and where we keep the discussion lively. Cranky Life, get to know the name because cranky analysis is never lame. Cranky Life, give me my cranky life. I want my cranky life. Must have my cranky life. Whether it's football or track and field, you know cranky is at the wheel. So join the journey through victory and defeat and subscribe and don't miss a beat of cranky life. Tell them, cranky life. Heed them, cranky life. Want them, cranky life.
If you're from England or USA, from Kingston or Bombay, from Kenya or Canada, Lagos or Havana, visit Cranky Live. Tune into Cranky Live. Like up Cranky Live. Subscribe to Cranky Live. Cranky Live. Coming to you on weekdays. Cranky Live sometimes on Sundays. Pull up a chair and take a seat because Cranky will always bring the heat. Cranky Live. Me say fi tell them Cranky Live. Me say fi heed them Cranky Live. On them Cranky Live. Cranky Live will be around. Cranky Live is the best in town. Me say fi heed them. Me say fi want them. Me say fi heed them. Want them, heed them, want them. Cranky Live. Cranky Live. Heed them, want them, heed them, want them. Cranky Live. Cranky Live. Heed them, want them, heed them, want them, heed them, want them. Cranky Live. Cranky Live. Cranky. Heed them, want them, heed them, want them. Heed, want, heed them.